Friday on our website. Red feather deep, here's the receiver who breaks a tackle. It's Bovine. Brantley trying to catch him. He won't. And Oklahoma City on the first play of their next drive busts it loose and they regain the lead. Are you kidding me? Tiberius Bovine once again making the big play. Unbelievable. One wide receiver either side for Mike, and Daza will flip it out to Sim, and Sim makes the play! 10-5 touchdown! The doctor is in! The Crabs have a lead! Oh, mama! There goes that man!
To the right, single receiver to the left. Dunhill to throw, has time, goes deep down the left-hand side. That was complete behind the defense. They can't catch him. 10-5 touchdown. Atlanta. Boo Chisholm does it again.
Hand off to English on a first down, trying to get it around the left-hand side. Takes the long way around, but still picks up the first down. Still on his feet, down the sideline. Johnny English past the 20, 10. He scores again. Touchdown, Honolulu. On one of the craziest runs after fake punt, pass, kick, whatever I've ever seen. Unbelievable.
Mama, there goes that man.
I mean, he goes 5 yards back before he scores.
Yeah, I was going to make a comment about that, but I'll keep my comments to myself because he took this one to the house. He was blazing. 51 didn't have a shot.
So the Skyhawks having trouble on first and second down sometimes in terms of moving the chains, but they have converted on a decent amount of these third downs. I believe they've only had to punt once. Snap back, handoff to English, right up the gut. English fights his way for a first down again, and can you believe that? Johnny English, that's the second time on third down the man has just taken the ball and ran right up the gut for a first. This is a man possessed, ladies and gentlemen. He wants this Skyhawk team to succeed, and it looks like he's...
Split backs for Louis Ndula. Josh to throw, right into Big Sexy.
Big Sexy. Another country is heard from. Oh, yeah.
He just flew right by the offensive tackle. Gave him one little move and boop, down the cornerback went.
Split receivers and offside, and Snowden's going to take the handoff. Snowden, Richard Snowden spins back inside, breaks a tackle and scores. That's going to be a touchdown, DC. How in the world did he keep his balance and move the other way?
Wow, that's well, we were just talking about it too. You know, Snowden's got that ability to break away, and had he had more field there, he was definitely able to keep going. You know, he goes through the whole guy, doesn't have a whole lot of room there. One guy misses a tackle, he spins out of another, and shakes off that one right down there at the end, and is able to get in there. So DC is shown early on. They set the pace with the first touchdown, and then they come and they answer back with a great drive there.
Walker's deep pass is picked off. That's interception number 3 on the night. Eddie Gage gets up and returns it to the 34. How about Baltimore's defense against Kevin Walker? He did not throw 3 interceptions all of last season in any game. And only 2 times in his career has Walker thrown at least 3. These two defenses right now canceling each other out. Showing a blitz up the middle, they bring it, Bentley running right into it, Bentley gets away from it, Bentley's got a first down, breaks a tackle, Ray Bentley, he's gone, and the Aztecs are gonna score and get on the board. Welcome to the game, Ray Bentley. And the Aztecs are right back in it just like that.
I got to turn our mics on. And welcome to SFL Season 20. I am here, as I will be all season long, with none other than Paul Sarp, a.k.a. Pauly Truth. And let's start there. We have a new man in town, as Mike St. Green is gallivanting the country, making that cheddar. Paul, tell SFL Nation a little bit about yourself.
SFL Nation, my name is Paul Sarp, also known as Pauly Truth. I am the tight end for the Seattle Nemesis, and I also help out in Lexington and help do the progressions for the minors. So just moving forward in the SFL, and excited to be here with you tonight and all season long. And I don't know about you, Cam, but I've been waiting all off season for some SFL action.
I was going to, man, hey, me and you are already on the same page, because I was going to say that you didn't have to wait all week for SFL action because we start on a Thursday. And, now we have Monday Night Football every week. And so now, what is it? I've been waiting all weekend for one last SFL game. I don't know. It doesn't quite roll off the tongue, so we're going to have to figure that out. But
we'll have to get the remix going.
Paul and I are here tonight to break down everything there is to know about Season 20 around the SFL. We'll also talk a little bit Alamo City and Baltimore. Tyler Falk is our sideline reporter tonight, so he's going to have some inside scoop from Alamo City and Baltimore throughout the evening. Mike O'Neill will be by to break down his key matchups for the matchup later tonight. And the ticker is frozen, and we're going to have to fix that. So as is customary, it is opening night, and so you never know what's going to happen. But, Paul, we're just going to begin with in alphabetical order. We're going to put 2 minutes on the clock. We're going to talk about every team. There's 28 teams in the SFL, so it's not easy to get through. We start with Alamo City. And will it be the right city to help this franchise take the next step, as Alamo City now in San Antonio?
Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering as well. Again, Alamo City becoming the artillery, making another franchise changing cities again. Again, I'm wondering, is this the city for them? Can they do some damage here in Alamo City?
Yeah, and it's really interesting. This team has been through so many ups and downs over the years, and it's been in Dallas and Denton and now San Antonio, and it's been in Seattle, and it's been all sorts of places. But one thing that has been consistent, Paul, is that it's been a consistent winning franchise. No matter who's at the helm, they've been able to turn in winning seasons, and so that's that's something I would suspect to continue here this season in Season 20.
No, absolutely. Again, we here in Seattle appreciate Alamo City going to Alamo City a few seasons back, and again, we missed the Tyrants. We missed the Tyrants, but the Nemesis are here. But as far as Alamo City, again, winning franchise, they've proven time and time again they can win games. What are they missing, though? What's the final piece to get them that SFL championship?
No, Pseudo, I don't have a buzzer, but if anybody wants to super chat out there, we'll get your thoughts on these teams on the show as well here tonight. But Alamo City, it's a tough assignment, rematch of the Season 18 championship game. That's the last time these two teams played. No Ike McBride. We're going to see Brad Jones tonight for the first time. We're going to see Alamo City. What Ace Fennick is wearing in that photo is what you'll see him wearing tonight. The yellow helmets, the white jerseys, and then the yellow pants as well. All right, 2 minutes on the clock for Arizona. Arizona trying to make the championship for back-to-back seasons, and will they actually win a title this year? And did they get stronger, Paul?
I truly believe that they did get stronger. I have high hopes for Arizona. Bunch of good people down there in Arizona. You got Eddie Gage, Ashley Jackson, two great, incredible people that I am close with myself. And again, they didn't lose too many players here this offseason. So I expect them to make another strong push here going into the playoffs. And I would not be surprised if we see them again in the finals this year.
Arizona doing things just a little bit differently this season. They beefed up that linebacking core. Parker Thomas, who's been in the slot forever, moves out of the slot. Skinny Washington now in the slot. Of course, he was a great slot man in Tulsa for the last couple seasons. And, Ashley Jackson, fresh off her first All-Star game appearance. She had a great campaign. But, yeah, how does Arizona respond, right? Do they have that hangover from that overtime loss to Baltimore? It was devastating for a while, but I'm sure that Arizona by this time, Paul, has turned that devastation into motivation.
Oh, absolutely, Cam. Again, to have that championship trophy right in the palm of your hands and to lose by 3 in overtime, to me, that would fuel me. So, again, I think they're going to come out season 20 here fired up, and I expect big things from the Scorpions here this season.
Yeah, and one other note too is Cliff Allen, who sent the Arizona Scorpions past the wild card round against the Florida Storm. He's back. There was a question there at some point whether he was going to be back or not, but he hit that critical 56-yard field goal that sent Arizona, and so I think they're really happy to have him back. All right, 2 minutes on the clock for the Atlanta Swarm, and something that was talked about or has been talked about seemingly ad nauseum over the last, I'd say couple of seasons is just the idea that Atlanta is continuing to run it back, but they are also continuing not to make any sort of playoff run since their championship. And the question is, what is missing? And so what is missing, Paul, in your mind?
To me, I truly don't know, because looking at their roster, I'm looking at how many seasons this team has played, all of these individual players, and there's a lot of seasons played on this team. There's also 3 Hall of Fame players. Again, they're not bringing home championships. So as far as what's missing, it's hard to say. Again, I'm just surprised this team hasn't had more winning seasons, especially with the talent that's on their roster.
Paul, I think as a veteran team, sometimes it's easy to fall into the trap of what you know and not be able to venture out into things that you don't know. And maybe what Atlanta needs is just a bunch of just something different, right? Something different with play calling, something that teams are not expecting. They certainly have all the talent in the world, but I wonder if, maybe we see the coaches mix things up this season just to try and put something fresh out there, because it's hard to imagine a team with Bryant Dynasty and BDG Hollywood and Boot Chisholm. I mean, these names that we've said for years and years and years. The fact that they are so up and down is so surprising. I mean, one week they'll be on national television blowing out, one of the top teams in the league, and then the next week they're falling short and they can't seem to get the run game going and things like that. So, Atlanta is a quirky team. I think a lot of people could see them winning the East, and a lot of people could see them finishing last too.
Sure, and that's the SFL. You never know what's going to come each season.
That's right. And at least for anybody not named Baltimore, because the Baltimore Vultures, we know what comes their way. All they do is win championships. So the question is, will Baltimore make it a four-peat, something that is unprecedented in SFL history? Who is going to stop them, Paul?
Looking at all these rosters, there's a bunch of good teams that I think can compete with Baltimore. But again, like you said, Cam, back to back to back. How do you knock them off? Again, everyone in the league, it's like you don't want them to win just because they keep winning, but how do you beat them? I'm sure someone here may figure it out this season, but again,
Minnesota
three-time.
It's crazy, Paul. Minnesota had the formula last season, but then they lost to DC in the playoffs, who lost to Baltimore 3 times last season. So it's like, the game's full of matchups. I'll tell you, back in the day with the Alaska Storm, when they won 3 in a row, how did they get knocked off? It was Mason Kirby, who now plays in Las Vegas, who had the catch of of all of SFL history on the last play of the game in a playoff game to send Seattle. Now Alamo City, ironically, to send Seattle to the next round, and eventually that same Seattle team lost 49 or beat Baltimore 49-47 in the semifinals to get to the championship game. So I think, Paul, it's really about Baltimore's going to be in the playoffs, right? We cannot possibly imagine they're not going to be in the playoffs. So who gets their shot at them? What's the matchup, right? Do they have home field? Are they going to have to go on the road? Is it going to be difficult? Because back-to-back seasons, Paul, Vancouver was the #1 seed, and they lost to Lone Star, who ended up playing Baltimore on the road in the championship. And then London was the #1 seed last season, and they lost at home and gave Baltimore home field advantage in those playoffs. It's crazy how that works.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the Canton Classics now. The Classics winning 4 of their last 6 games to end the season. And the question for Canton is, will Canton have a Classic season this season? I would say that 6-6 is probably the furthest thing away from a Classic season, Paul. So what do they have to do to get that photo finish?
Again, it's coming together. Again, with them being an expansion team, again, it's going to take some time. Me being from an expansion team, I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to build something special. And again, with Canton just joining the league last season, they had so much talent on the field last season and all the different players that they brought in going into last season, and they just couldn't find the right recipe to win consistently. But again, a 6-6 season, you can't be mad at that first season in the SFL. You got 2 first-round picks coming in to help the team out here, and Kane Hunter and Bob Lung. So who knows? Maybe they can help them out. Maybe there'll be something that helps them out take the next step forward.
Canton's, of course, got Kendra Wells, a wide receiver, is an awesome receiver, but they also have some momentum, going in from last season, and I think for Canton, they've got to be squarely focused on the London Knights, Paul. I think Motor City is still Skippy with the $9.99 super chat. Say nice things about Carolina. You hear that, Paul? You got to say nice things about Carolina,
sure do.
Or Skippy's coming for you. But yeah, I think that the Classics know that Motor City is still trying to find themselves. Queen City is in full rebuild mode now with 10 new rookies on their team, and they've got to close the gap somehow with the London Knights because, as you know, Paul, it's a 1-in-4 shot to make the playoffs every year in the division. Just win your division and you're in the playoffs. So I think that's probably where Canton is focused, would be focused if I was them. All right, let's focus now on the nice things we're going to say about the Carolina Skyhawks, right? And you have, well, was it a nice thing, Paul? I'm trying to figure out if it was a nice thing or not. Can Carolina improve to their first positive win percentage since season 11? That's a question, but it's also showing that Carolina just has had a tough time getting over the hump. Carolina is never a 2-win team. They're never a 3-win team. They're always on the bubble. Now, can they take the next step this season? Finally,
I think they can. I think Carolina is going to shock a few people in the SFL. They've had a long off season to prepare, get in the lab, run sims, figure out what they're missing. And I think season 20 will be the season that, since season 11, the Carolina Skyhawks will have a winning percent above 500.
Ike McBride could be the secret weapon, right?
I agree.
She gets on a new team in a new offense. This offense is a little bit more ball control than Alamo City. Alamo City is explosive. Oh, well, now Curtis wants us to say mean things about Carolina. This is going sideways, and the two of you need help. So maybe we'll get to that here in the last 40 seconds. But, Paul, I think she could be the difference maker on this offense. If they can figure out how to unlock her and make her the bell cow of this offense, 25, 30 carries, and keep Matt South away from the turnover bug. Also, a small thing to note, Paul, is Harish Prasad is the wide receiver 3 on this team for the first time, I think, ever. He's going to be returning kicks for them, but they've shuffled some things around on this offense. It's really going to be interesting to see what they are. Now I have 5 seconds to say something mean about Carolina because Curtis asked me to. So what can I say? look at Paul's question. Haven't had a winning record since season 11. So, we're getting bored over here. Got to clean that up. Okay, Charleston is next on the clock, and the Charleston Predators. Paul, honestly, one of my most fascinating teams of this offseason. They really have moved around a lot of pieces after a really disappointing 3-9 campaign.
Mm-hmm. And listen, last season in Vegas, I watched Charleston run and run and run all over us. So to have them score 50-some points on us week 1, and then to finish the season with the number 1 draft pick.
That's true, yeah. Shocker.
Again, all these new pieces, I think Charleston is going to be another team that's going to turn everything around this season. And again, I feel like they're going to shock a bunch of people here this season. Got
Jay Hayden, Robert Cherry, Jacob Clear, Jack Brown. It's a tighter unit there. They've got all these new pieces. They moved a couple of guys that weren't running backs last season to running back. The names escape me, Paul, if you've got the roster up. But it's I think they moved Saren Storm over to running back. I think so, along with their fullback, Sutherland.
Yeah. I'm seeing Saren Storm.
Saren Storm reminds me a lot of Robert Merrill over in London. He was a former receiver too. And if you can get some blocking behind those guys, then Charleston could be a force. Kentez Johnson has had such a strange career. He was in Houston, then he was retired for a long time, took over in the middle of the season for T.D. Drew and was awesome, and then last season seemed to kind of regress back to the mean, and Kentez trying to get going, but he's a veteran that can galvanize this team as well.
Yeah. On Charleston, who I'm most excited to see is number 1 overall draft pick, Geno McFly. Is he going to live up to the hype at number 1 overall?
Yeah.
We have a bunch of games to figure that one out.
I tell you what, Bryant James lived up to the hype when Indianapolis took him number 1, and so Geno McFly could be a big difference maker there as well. So looking forward to seeing what he can provide this Charleston secondary. Let's move on to the DC Dragons. Can they start off hot again in season 20, or better yet, Paul, will they fall off again like they have over the last couple of seasons? Because it hasn't been difficult to start hot for the Dragons. It's been finishing that's been the problem.
Yeah, I mean, to start off the season as hot as they did last season, and then to just completely fall apart at the end of the season, it was hard to see, just because those DC Dragons, they're a tough team. So I don't know what was going on, if it was bad play calls, or just I'm not sure. But to get back this season, I expect nothing less.
Paul, I think people like not seeing Mike St. Green. 156 viewers on the pregame.
We got 156 in here right now.
Yeah, and growing. It's
yes, sir.
The public's making it known that that Paul Sarp is the way to go.
Hey, I'm here for the fans.
I tell you what, like Canton is looking at London, DC's looking at Baltimore. I think this team, if nothing else, they only care about beating Baltimore, trying to figure them out. They are the key to unlock the dynasty, because they are the only team that gets Baltimore twice. They are the team that is most likely to take a division crown away from them. They are the team. Now, Kevin Say is getting another back in the backfield, Chuck Stellar. Could they go a little bit more run focus this season than maybe they have in the past? We know that Kevin Say is a truly dynamic individual, so it's going to be interesting to see how they rope in Stellar throughout the course of the season. But I just love the way Kevin Say runs. He reminds me so much of Richard Snowden, who we saw in that highlight earlier. Anything else on DC, Paul?
DC, I'm looking at their roster again. They had 5 draft picks. So again, I love seeing the rookies play. I love seeing them get their shot and make it to the big leagues. Again, we were all there once, so I remember how I felt watching my first minor league game and then going into the pros. So I'm just excited to see the rookies here in DC and see how they can perform this season.
Jack Wall for $5 super chat. Thank you, Jack. Sign up for SFL Fantasy now. Hurry before kickoff. Thanks, Gene and Hacker, but not Norwood. Ouch. Man, Norwood and Jack got that. They got that love-hate relationship going on over there. But good work there by the fantasy crew and Jack Stata. Baltimore is a 7.5-point favorite tonight. All right, we move on to the Denver Nightwings. And for Denver, can they return to glory and make the playoffs for the first time in 3 seasons? They're going to have to do it with a rookie quarterback, Gene Struthers, taken.
Yeah, Gene Struthers going in the second round there. I was shocked to see Gene Struthers go there because I was convinced that Kenny Slider would be going before any other quarterback, and type attack as well. Again, all the things he can do. But as far as Denver, Gene Struthers looking to prove a lot of people wrong, myself included, and I hope he can. I hope he does. But getting back to their glory, again, fell off kind of a little bit the past 2 seasons after making it to the championship. So they have some talented people there in Denver, and front office there. I'm sure they've been putting in all the work that they can this offseason, because no one wants to have 2 losing seasons in a row. So
you know what I like, Paul, about Gene Struthers? That dude was down there for 2 years.
Yeah.
He set a record. Frosty Dimes, 199 super chat. Thank you, Frost. Like, you know the type of commitment it takes to get passed up in 3 drafts in a row, and Gene stuck it out and stayed. And I think Denver will appreciate that loyalty, love that loyalty.
Absolutely.
They really haven't had a ton of quarterbacks in franchise history. You date back to Joey Langdon in the San Antonio days. Then you had Josh Miller, who won them a couple titles, then Eric Price, and now Gene Struthers. It's kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers of coaches, right? Denver does not have a revolving door at quarterback, and it's going to be fun to see Gene in a different uniform, right?
Absolutely.
And really looking forward to that. Denver takes on Motor City tomorrow. All right, Florida Storm are up next. And for the Storm, their question is consistency. It's key. 1 losing season in 12 seasons. And you say, Paul, expect no difference.
Expect no difference there in Florida. Shout out to Florida. As you can see back there, that's the rookie Pauly Truth jersey. Took me first round. I appreciate my time there. Again, great people in Florida. Those guys know how to win. That's the one thing they know how to do. And like you said, consistency is key for them. And you don't see a whole lot of losing seasons in Florida or Alaska, but expect no different here.
Jeremy Vega pointed out that they don't have a revolving door at running back either. Bailey O'Shaughnessy, Jared McChesney, and he's right. That's a big thing for Denver. Florida, it just seems like, last season wasn't their best, but they found a way. Art Vandelay and that talented coaching staff there always is able to piece together enough wins to be competitive and compete for a championship every season. And there was a point in the offseason, Paul, where I got a chance to spy in on their locker room, and I won't go into details, but they essentially laid out all the ways they've lost playoff games since they won those 3 championships in a row. And it's been heartbreak city. I mean,
Sure.
Florida has been so close. And I think often we look at Florida and say, well, they haven't won since season 12. What are they? But this is a team that's always there. I would say is the favorite probably in the East, although
Absolutely.
I think Louisiana is a huge underdog to pay attention to, but we'll get to them in a moment. So that's a look at the Florida Storm and their situation. They bring a lot of people back. All right, Fort Worth Toros time now, back in the South. New GM in town, only added 3 players in the offseason, but it's been some important changes. Jay-Z Bacon takes over the backfield, and there's a lot of questions about whether he can handle it or not.
Yeah, and as far as their front office position, they do have Aaron Alexander in there now. As far as keeping the same team, I think Fort Worth's going to be competitive this season as well. 2 first-round picks. They brought in Melt Gibson and John Fullerton and signed Emilio Panda, undrafted free agent. So are these 3 the missing pieces for them as well? I hope for Fort Worth that they are.
Yeah, I think the Toros, you can't sleep on them. Marcus Dunhill in the first part of the season, first month of the season last season was struggling. Wasn't doing all that much. But man, those last 2 months of the regular season, Dunhill and this
Caught fire.
offense were on fire. They kicked the crap out of Mexico City
Mm-hmm.
in a nationally televised game. I remember because I was sitting here going, "Good Lord, do I have to watch any more of this? This is a horrible bloodbath." And that's the type of team that they have the potential to be. Now they have to
Absolutely.
figure out how to keep the turnovers down, passing maybe a little bit more, getting Bacon into open field situations. Because Jason Williams, who's now in Sioux Falls, was obviously a super talented back. And on top of that, Paul, Fort Worth's in a very tough division as well, as we know in the South. But, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Again, it might come down to one game at the end of the season. Fort Worth may need to win, and I think they have it in them to upset any team in the SFL. And again, all it takes is one play to be the difference maker, and a bunch of playmakers on Fort Worth.
John Fullerton, 199 Super Chat. Thank you, John. And he says, let's go Fort Worth. Easy money. And, with Mexico City rebuilding and Alamo City, reshuffling some things, you never know. It could be Fort Worth's time to win this division. We are counting down to our season opener, previewing every team around the SFL in 2 minutes. Alamo City takes on Baltimore about a quarter past the next hour. And Paul, I know that tonight is a little bit different because we haven't had any games yet, but Monday night is going to be great. Every Monday night, you can catch me and Paul and some of the SFL crew all across the league contributing to the show. Think about it being like SFL Crunch Time, but it's a little bit more heavy on me and Paul breaking down some of these games after highlights. But it's sort of like a SFL halftime meets Crunch Time hybrid. But we're going to be doing that every Monday night before the big Monday night game. You can catch us here same time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Every Monday, we'll be recapping the entire weekend of SFL action. Tonight, we are previewing everything. Mike O'Neill has a preview of the Alamo City-Baltimore matchup coming up. And we also, Paul and I will take a look at that, obviously, all night long as your commentary crew for this evening. All right, the Houston Headhunters had a pretty nice season last season, getting back to the playoffs. Now the Wells brothers have united in Houston, and could that be the catalyst for the Headhunters to take an even bigger step after the 1-point loss to Sioux Falls in the wild card round last season?
Yeah, with the Wells brothers linking up together here in Houston, I think their running game is going to be dangerous. To have those animations on a fullback and to have such a high rating fullback, and for them to be brothers, to have that chemistry together, I think that they're going to be playing some smash mouth football here in season 20.
Yeah, they're a really exciting, interesting team. Last season they kind of got at the end of the season. They in a way kind of like DC, where they started to fall off there a little bit. They got their stuff together just in time over the last couple of weeks of the season to pick up some big wins, and really had that Sioux Falls game in the bag. They just came up empty, and so this is a very talented team that obviously has DR Sim, Mike St. Green, Greg Corky at receiver. This is a talented offense. Dave Berg, can't sleep on him either. You got Josh Rowe. Dude makes plays every single night on that defense. He is sick.
He's a scary safety back there.
A lot of people are saying Houston's going to win this division.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. The player I'm most excited to see is from Tulsa, Jim Copeland Jr. Excited to see what difference he can make at the tight end position.
T to Queen says Twinkie Day needs a shout out. Sup, Doug? Your wife is taking care of you. Dougie Fresh out there. New GM over in Seattle. Your season gets going. When do y'all play? Saturday night, right? I think y'all got Atlanta on the road at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be a really interesting game. So shout out, thanks. Thank your wife, Doug, and have a Twinkie on us tonight, and enjoy yourself as we count down to kickoff. Indianapolis is next, as long as we know how to do our ABCs. And for the Ramblers, they got a lot of new pieces. And for an expansion team, they already had a lot of new pieces to begin with. But 9 new additions to this squad, Paul. So how is it all going to mesh together?
Your guess is going to be as good as mine here, Cam. But you see, they bring in 2 players from the Mavericks in Christian Pierce and Mac Dre. So got a couple draft picks in there. Rob Hunt, Max Van Linge, certifying up that offensive line.
There you go. He's in the chat. He hears you.
You got Adam Nold, Juniper Belson, and like you said, last season, #1 overall pick, Bryant James, actually a good friend of mine. He lived up to the hype last season, so Indianapolis bringing him back is a huge thing for them. I expect Bryant James to take that second-year leap.
They're going to be a pain for broadcasters. It might need to start a drinking game somewhere. You got Colin Pierce, you got Christian Pierce, you got Randy Pierce, all on the offense. Randy, not so much tight end, right? Starts with an R. But Colin and Christian, both in the same backfield, is going to be tough. And I've always been a fan, Paul, of pounding the table for more male names. There's not enough names for dudes. There's too many. I mean, we got Colin. I can think of like 5 different ones. You got Colin Pierce, Colin Northrup. Like, it's just all over the place. Yeah, there's 2. I'm just glad your name's not Mike, Paul, because I got too many Mikes up in the air. Mike Daggs and Mike St. Green and Mike over at in the truck. Yeah, it's crazy. But Indy, Adam Wiseman says in the chat they'll be just fine. I don't doubt that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the next steps they take, especially moving on from Brad Jones. Paul, he was #1. We'll see him tonight. He was #1 in the league last year in carries. Can Christian Pierce do the same? Because Christian Pierce came from San Diego where he got almost no carries. So it's going to be a big adjustment for him.
Absolutely.
That is Indy. We move to Jacksonville now, and the Jacksonville Kings are something else. They had a rough season, a complete rebuild this offseason. That includes 5 wide receivers. They are the only team with 5 wide receivers. Will that young core be able to help O.J. Bruin get the job done? It is a youthful bunch for sure.
Absolutely. And again, I was a part of a very young team here last season, so I'm excited to see what Jacksonville can do with such a young team. Again, taking 8 rookies in the draft here, 3 of them being receivers. So you still have Christopher Ochoa and Kingston Ellingston. Yeah. So will that leadership be enough to help take these 3 and take them forward? And as far as the rookies that they selected, I know that they have a bunch of good rookies in there just from the players that I coached in Lexington and help build. So I know
they almost took your whole team, didn't they, Paul?
Almost, at least 7. I think 7 of the 8 are from Jacksonville. Yeah. But I know those guys. They're ready to go, ready to be in the league. So I think there's going to be some games that Jacksonville wins here this season, and I think they'll sneak a few out here this season.
Kingston Ellington, well, they beat Arizona. They were one of the last teams to beat Arizona. We know that they have the talent. Kingston Ellington is a good dude. And O.J. Bruin, he's kind of bounced around. He was in Portland, Queen City. Then Jorge Torres goes over. New GM in Jacksonville brings him along. So maybe Bruin will find a home, in this high-flying offense, because he has shown flashes of brilliance both in Portland and in Queen City, where he is that dude. And so they're going to have to figure that offense out real quick, and they got to get over the Florida hump. Florida really, particularly has had their number. They're not going to go anywhere if they can't win that battle of Florida. So they need to figure out how to get that done as well. All right, so we're halfway through the league. It is now time for Mike O'Neill to give his thoughts on Alamo City and Baltimore tonight. Here is your Around the SFL matchup breakdown. And Paul and I will be right back.
What is going on? Welcome to ATS Matchups to Watch. I'm Mike O'Neill. You guys know me as the host of Around the SFL podcast. Want to give a big shout out to Cam and Paulie in the booth for letting this happen. Guys, Week 1, Season 20 is here, starting with a huge matchup. Alamo City traveling into Baltimore to take on the defending champs. Let's go over these keys of victory for Alamo City. For Alamo City, number 1, they've got to contain the explosives in the pass game for Baltimore. They cannot allow any big shots downfield. Things will get out of hand quickly. Number 2, they've got to force Baltimore, almost bait Baltimore into playing a slower game of football to keep things in control. We all know how easily this can turn into a shootout, and you do not want to get into a shootout with the defending champs. Number 3, this is offensive, okay? On the offensive side of the ball, they have to utilize tight end Garrison Blue, all right? Alvin Mack and Keenan Samuels, the outside linebackers for Baltimore, they're great, but it's a mismatch for tight end Garrison Blue. Look for him to get the ball. # throw it to the tight end. Number 4, they have to lean on Brad Jones. They're going to have to establish the run game. Once they can establish that, maybe start passing out of heavy formations so that way they don't have to test those aggressive corners in Baltimore like we know that they have, arguably the most aggressive corners in the league. Let's talk about Baltimore. How are they going to win this game? Number 1, they have to force Alamo City into empty sets. Okay, like we were just saying, they've got the most aggressive corners in the league, and even though Alamo City's wide receivers are great, it's going to be a tough ask for them to hang with these corners. Number 2, establish the pass early. Just like we were saying for Alamo City to stop it, Baltimore needs to hit on these explosives. 1 or 2 keeps the defense honest, opens up a huge game for Warren and T-Roy. Speaking of those two, matchups to watch here. Warren Murray and T-Roy Gaines going up against Tina Begin and Stephen Fellows II, the interior defensive line for Alamo City. I'm not saying the interior line's bad. It's not, but Warren and T-Roy are great, a great 1-2 punch, and if Baltimore wants to win this game, they have to get those two involved. So keys to victory are matchups to watch: Warren and T-Roy against the interior defensive line, and tight end Garrison Blue against Alvin Mack and Keenan Samuels and that entire linebacking core for Baltimore. Thank you guys, and we'll see what happens in week 1.
And that was matchups to watch from Mike O'Neill. Great job, Mike. And Mike, along with others all season long, will be contributing to the show. And if you would like to contribute a segment to the show, we can put you on as well. If you get sick and tired of us talking, I know I get sick and tired of hearing myself talk, then you can talk instead, and I would be just fine with that. This is a community show, and our goal is to keep you informed on what's going on around the community at large. So that's a look at Mexico City, Alamo City. Well, more pregame preview of that game coming up here in a little bit. But until then, we continue on with our rapid-fire season preview. We move on to Las Vegas. 2 minutes, new quarterback in town. Can Eric Price live up to the hype? Paul, coming over from rival Denver.
Yeah, I'm looking here for the Fury. I think there was a little bit out of alphabetical order there, Cam. But hey,
oh yeah, my bad.
Hey, it's okay. We'll move on from that. But
I know what happened. I won't do that again.
Las Vegas, again, they were a tough team here last season. So, again, a bunch of experience on their team as well. I'm looking at their roster here. They have 5 players that have 10+ seasons in the league. So, again, that's a lot of built-up progressions and a lot of progressions in there. Again, only having 1 draft pick and bringing in Prince Wonder and bringing over Maurice Lloyd from Arizona. And, again, new quarterback in town. You got Eric Price taking the charge here this season for the Fury.
Vegas made a surprising move. They moved John Blades to tight end. John Blades has played tight end before, but this dude was a beast. He was the #1 receiver on this team, and instead they slot Doug Britton, who has been very loyal to this franchise for many years. He is still their kick returner, and he is now their wide receiver 1. Max Jackson and Merrick Itera, not your special teams demons anymore. So Vegas is mixing things up, making things spicy over there at Silver State Stadium, and they've got a big game with Queen City. 2 teams out to prove themselves coming up Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night's where it all starts off here for Las Vegas. And again, bunch of good people out there. I know they're hungry for a championship just as everyone else is. So who knows? Maybe we will see the Fury here trying to knock Baltimore off.
Paul, Brett Killian in the chat said, "I'd rather watch the beards of the SFL figure out how they do it since I can't grow anything." I'm with you there. I'm with you there, Brett. But actually, I kind of think that Brett Solberg and Paul Sarp look alike. Is that just me? Is that somebody give me some comments on that in the chat, because that's that's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, I won't do that to you again.
The doppelgangers.
I won't do that again to you and go out of order, Paul.
Yeah,
so we'll go to
throwing me
Tulsa.
off there.
We'll go to Tulsa next. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Los Angeles is up next. A disappointing season.
go.
Disappointing season because they returned so many players.
Yeah.
And we thought, especially in an expansion season, that, man, they're returning so many players. This team's going to be really good. They failed to meet expectations. Well, they returned almost the entire team again. So now the question is it going to be a repeat of last season, or will something be different in the water this season for the Lycans?
Yeah, again, coming up a little short last season. One team that they did not come up short against would be the Seattle Nemesis. But as far as this season, again, bringing back majority of the team. You have the number 2 draft pick, bring in Robert Thump. Again, he's going to be a force down there in the trenches. And then to bring Garrett Hudson over from Jacksonville, certify up that defense, have the returning offense all coming back. Again, they know how to work together, so it's just taking the next step here.
Yeah, I think for Los Angeles, I think the key has always been for them is trying to limit the turnovers. They just can't seem to stop turning the ball over offensively, and Logan Jack is such a dynamic back. But even when Robert Johnson was there, Paul, who's now in Canton, it was kind of Robert Johnson would go off for 250, and then the next week he'd have 34 carries for 49 yards. And then in that very same game, Sully threw 4 picks, and then for the next couple of weeks, Sully would throw hardly any interceptions, and then they'd have another game where he throws 4, 5, 6 picks, and they lose again. And it's just finding that consistency in the offense. That's what they need.
Yeah,
that secondary is a beast. Rochelle Colston and what's Tim's player? I can't remember. He would get mad at me for even mentioning him anyway, since he's always self-deprecating, that guy. Hacksaw, Tim Hacksaw,
Jack Hacksaw
out there. Is it Jack Hacksaw?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Okay, well, too many names. Just too many names. Louisiana is on top. This team, this team would surprise you. Liam Hammer is the new weapon for Tommy Utah, but this was Heartbreak City last season. 5 of the 7 losses by 4 points or less. We're not even talking about 1-score losses. We're talking about razor-thin, nail-biting losses. And like they say with the Vikings, who lost a bunch of close games, just wait for the mean, right? They will start. Teams that lose a bunch of those games will start winning a bunch of those games. That could be what's in store for Louisiana, just a couple seasons removed from a semifinal appearance. Yeah,
again, they're in a tough division. They got a bunch of good teams that they have to play against. So to be in all of those games and to lose by such a close margin, they're right there. They're, like I said earlier, they're one play away from having a win rather than a loss. And again, in a tough division there, you need every win you can get. And again, Tommy Utah getting a new weapon in Lean Hammer, going with Lyric Da Vinci and Rego De Niro. Got Levy Lees, John Michael Sudduth. Again, bunch of targets there for Tommy Utah. I'm looking at their secondary as well. They have a very tough secondary. So if their secondary can hold it down for them, get some pressure on the quarterback, I see them winning some games here.
Evan Arthur and Mike Ryan and Tank Bennett and all those dudes, Rolliman Hood, are beasts. And, yeah, it's, Louisiana has never really been a high-flying offense, but Hammer comes from San Diego, where they were a high-flying offense, and I'm really compelled to see how that's going to all mesh with Randy Squarebush, because Louisiana's never really been a huck it and chuck it type of team, but if you got more weapons, you can do some different things on offense.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move to the London Knights, and can never forget about London, who won a franchise record 12 games last season, was the regular season champions, lost in those semifinals to Arizona. Will they seek some more balance now that they've got a different type of team? No Benji Matson, no Tiberius Bovine, so they lost some blocking support there for Merrill. But, I mean, golly, we were looking at the numbers when previewing our Monday night game for London, And I mean, this team was number one in so many categories. It's a shock they did not win the title because they were just that good.
Yeah, to have those numbers just pop out like that, you got number one, all last season. Again, going into last season, I personally didn't expect a whole lot from London, so they did surprise me a lot. You got Robert Merrill, the season that he had, that guy is a dog. So to have that type of success, sure you lose some linemen, but you still have three units down there in London. Blocking for Robert Merrill here again. Again, I expect the same thing here from London this season.
Matthew Slynn, $5 super chat, going back to Louisiana, wanting to dedicate the Week 1 win to the late great Leonard Butler Sr. And yes, I'm glad you said something, Matthew, because
Absolutely.
Louisiana is also trying to move on from that as well. That was a team that was snake bit in a number of ways last season, and for the Knights, they, in a way, this is a new era. They're kind of in an odd position because they were so dominant last season, but all anyone can talk about is Baltimore. Maybe that's to London's advantage because, the spotlight is not necessarily on them in any way. It's all on Baltimore, and maybe London can cruise to another number 1 seed again.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see London there, number 1 seed again. Again, bunch of good players there. Tough team to stop the run against.
I liked Pickler's on Access Live, and I liked where he was at mentally. He seemed focused and ready to go for this season. Dialed in, for lack of a better phrase, and so that's scary for opponents. Mexico City. Will they see their first losing season since moving to Mexico City? That is the question, with Matt Wilson and Mike Daggs retiring. The late GOAT, Matt Wilson. Jordan Sipe comes in to run quarterback there. That's a challenging situation for any player, but Jordan Sipe is a good dude. I've talked with him one-on-one a few times. He puts the team on his back, Paul. He really cares truly about performing well and being a positive teammate, and I think they got a good one there in Mexico City. I think the key, Paul, is they still have Ramos Lynn coaching, and we'll see what kind of magic he can work with in a new offense.
Yeah, the experience in the front office in Mexico City, it's proven time and time again why they have winning season after winning season. Jordan Sipe is the big headline there in Mexico City here this season, so I'm excited to see what he can do as an Aztec, and like you said, let's see if he can put the team on his back again and see if he can get the job done there in Mexico City.
Yeah, we put the graphic up. Will they have their first losing season? I think that's more to say that Mexico City doesn't do that. They have been in Mexico City for a long time. In fact, they still currently hold the SFL record for most consecutive playoff appearances. That streak is still active and still ongoing. So it would be a shock if Mexico City were to fall down anywhere near where they were not competing for a championship, because that's just not what they do. Minnesota is up next. They had the most retention of all the expansion teams. They made it the furthest in. They made the playoffs. They were only the team to make the playoffs, so technically they made it further than anyone else. And so, for the Minnesota legend, now it's about building off of that retention. I'm really interested to see what the legend can do as sort of as an encore to a terrific, absolutely terrific rookie season in which they were the only team to beat your current 3-time defending champions.
Yeah, Minnesota, they came out swinging here last season. Again, like you said, to have the most retention. The only new player on the team is Chris Komisak, fullback number 28. So to bring him in, bring another body in the block, give Colin Hart some more blocking, get the running game going. Got Buchanan Simons, Queg Mam, Jay Taylor, Adam Banks, Christian. I'll leave it to you, Cam.
Bachagalupi, Paul.
I'll let you pronounce that one. And Jason France. And that offense.
Paul, you better get it right by week, 5 or whatever? We got Minnesota and Indianapolis. It's going to be fun.
I'm shocked there's not a pronunciation by his name.
Yeah,
The hardest name I've seen yet.
we gotta get that fixed. No, Minnesota. I love that core. I love.
Yeah.
They really underrated a receiving core there, and Chris Komisak's a smart dude. Johnny Bravo's a smart dude too. He coaches that defense up. He was there. He was in Charleston, Paul, when Charleston went on their big runs. I think Charleston made the quarterfinals a couple times. Nearly made the semifinals while he was there. So yeah, this Minnesota team, they're ready for an encore. I don't doubt that they're going to impress. Okay, next is always a curious team. So last season, right, Motor City, they go 3 tight ends. Everyone laughs at them. They come out in week 1 and they beat Tulsa, and everyone on the Vegas convention floor was like, "What the heck was that?"
Absolutely.
It was crazy. Now, it didn't end well.
Yeah.
The 63-10 loss comes to mind with Indianapolis. That was a dark day. But
Sure.
Motor City is committed. 3 wide receivers this time, 3 tight ends. They moved Guy Clausen over. They're going to be a little bit more dynamic, not as rigid offensively with the 3 tight end sets, and they're going to be able to mix and match and do a little bit more of it. And your question, Paul, was have they figured out the recipe? And I think if they have, they could be trouble for some teams and be a sneaky dark horse this season.
Yeah, and again, when I first found out about this 3 tight end set, I was actually approached to be the 3rd tight end here last season. But again, I see the vision. I see what they're trying to do, and again, if they can figure out that secret Krabby Patty formula, I think Motor City, I think that could be a lethal team there. Especially if you gotta have a run game. You can't just pass. You gotta have some type of run game in there. And if they can figure that out and get that added in there, again, Motor City could be a very scary team.
Yeah, I think that was a critical piece they were missing. They just could not figure out. I mean, 3 tight ends, you got to have some blocking, right? And they just couldn't figure out how to get Baloo Scott going. She was a rookie. Now she goes over to Seattle. Interested to see how she meshes in a different offense. Are you a SpongeBob guy, Paul?
SpongeBob guy?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Krabby Patty secret formula. You just threw out the secret formula there. So
listen, you got the recipe there. Motor City's trying to find the formula. You never know.
Because if we're gonna start doing SpongeBob references here, I'm all for that. Yeah, Motor City, really, really interesting team up there in that North Division. That whole North Division is fascinating to me. Can Canton close the gap? Is London, going to be able to run it back? Motor City is this quirky, curious team, and then Queen City's got a whole lot going in the positive direction for them, and we're going to talk about them here in just a couple of minutes. But next is the Portland Fleet, and for Portland, this is my dude, Cyrus Jive. I called a game with him last season. I think it was maybe I didn't call it a game, but it was a TV game against Seattle, right? Oh, sorry, Paul. Sorry to open up old wounds. But he carved you up. It was ridiculous.
I remember that game.
I think he completed.
It's like I was there or something.
I think he completed like 23 passes in a row. This guy
24.
is 24. Well, thank you for letting me know. Portland, like Canton, finished 4 out of 6 with wins. Finished 6-6, still looking to make the playoffs. Can Cyrus Jive make the leap? Can Portland make the leap? Fun squad out there with Zeke Love and company.
Yeah, they got a fun team out there. I actually got to see them twice last season, so I personally know that they're a tough team. Again, they came out and beat us twice last season. Again, being in our division, they're going to be surprised when they see us here this season in Seattle. I'm not sure if we play in Seattle or Portland, but again, as far as the Fleet, they brought in Ryan Davis, undrafted free agent, and Jay Warren, right tackle from Atlanta. Yep. And everyone else is returning members. So to have that type of retention and to have a solid season last season, I think they'll build off of that, and I think they'll be a tough team to go against here this season.
Portland, they saw what London did. That's what they've always wanted to do, beef up the offensive line and get Zeke Love running downhill, make things easy for Cyrus Jive. They definitely accomplished that this offseason. Skippy with the $1.99 super chat, and it's a question for you, Paul. Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Not necessarily. So, depends on how you look at it.
Please tell me you understood the reference.
I did, yes. I did, yes.
Well, I think because we're a new crew and we have to build trust with each other, I think you need to explain what the reference is so I can make sure that you're not full of crap.
You don't believe me there, Cam.
Wow. Let's see. What is it? Is mayonnaise an instrument?
I mean, I kind of look like him. Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Yeah! There we go. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is a great start to everything. All right, Queen City is up next, and I think Skippy probably appreciated just the fact that somebody did a Patrick Starr impression on the season preview show. Lots of new faces for Queen City, just like Jacksonville, but this is the next level of new faces. 11, Paul. I understand that this team is rebuilding with some veteran leaders, Tiberius Bovine, right? James Klein. Team's going in the right direction with Tom Welsh and Eric Barkley also still at the helm. However, can all the coaching in the world fix all this youth, Paul? This is a tough, especially early. Queen City's going to have to, go through some growing pains with this roster. And if they don't, right, if they can actually pick up some wins early in the season, look out, because they're only going to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that really just comes out to me is their secondary. They have 4 out of 6 players that are rookies in their secondary. So, again, like you said, they're probably going to have some growing pains early in the season, but I would expect them to kind of get some traction here once they get some progressions in and get their secondary up to speed. Again, I know they got Todd Rigsby out there, former Lexington Miner. Again, I'm familiar with him. Got Newton North, Nano Matthews, GB Wallace. They also have a rookie kicker in there, and Joe Garfield. Bringing in a couple people. Got Tiberius Bovine, Hall of Famer, coming in from London. Tony Zoma coming in from Carolina.
It's a lot.
So, there's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on there. But one constant, they did retain Jet Zero at running back. That can be a focal point for this team that is especially trying to keep that defense off the field, play some ball control, right, and rely on a savvy veteran in the backfield, a pair of savvy veterans in the backfield, and that could be a recipe for success for Queen City, particularly early in the season, while they are working on getting that progression up. San Diego is next, essentially an expansion team. Dave Axis is back. However, not your average expansion team. Some have compared them to the Canton situation. I don't really see it that way. I look at it more as a bunch of guys that have been here and done that before in the SFL, coming together in a reshaped team. I think one of the most underrated signings for San Diego is Stuart Zomilia, who comes over from Jacksonville. He's going to be a huge help to that secondary. San Diego, Paul, played no defense last year. None. Almost dead last in every statistical category. You have to believe that they're going to be better and that it's going to be a more balanced unit. The question is, how many wins does it translate to?
Yeah, I personally think that this San Diego team is going to be better than last season's San Diego team. Like you said, it kind of balances out a little rather than having all those animations only on a few people. And I think this team, I see what you mean, how people were saying that kind of like a Canton Classics team last season. Again, there's a lot of seasons in the league on this San Diego team. And I think the biggest thing for them will be their defensive front. You got a bunch of big bodies up there, and I think it's going to be hard to run against San Diego this season.
Yeah, I like what they've done with this unit, but I like probably the most that Scar Patterson was retained. This guy's a superstar, man. I mean, he people could say whatever they want about player builds and all this stuff. It's not easy to do what Scar Patterson did. I don't care what team he's on or what coaching staff he has. Scar Patterson lit some people up. He is exciting to watch. He kind of, the way he throws the ball, Paul, it kind of does look like a jet flying through the air. I mean, it's a quick, pure pass. I love watching him. I love watching him play football. 4 teams left. We are that close to the start of season 20. Let's get to the Seattle Nemesis. Those are your boys over there, Paul. and I'm sure Paul will have plenty to say about Seattle, so I'll give him the floor. A second season jump is the question mark.
Yeah, second season jump. We've been putting in a bunch of work here in Seattle. So as far as what we have planned for this season, again, we only had 1 win last season. You heard it here first. I'm predicting a lot more wins than 1 this season. But again, we brought a lot of our team back, held on to a lot of people, moved a couple people around. Like you said earlier, brought in Baloo Scott, brought in Gus Scott, also got Amar Bryant Jr. locking up the secondary. And to finish us off, you got Doug Day coming in at strong safety as well and taking over at general manager. And you love Donkey, or you love Dougie Fresh. I put on a little bit of weight from all these Twinkies he's been force feeding me, but other than that, trying to stay in shape.
Aren't we all, Paul? It's a tough slide. I think somewhere after 22, it gets brutal. But yeah, this Seattle team, they're frisky. They are a frisky bunch. They were frisky last. Almost beat Vancouver towards the end of last season. Skip with the $10 super chat wants me to say mean things about Van. Golly, all the hate tonight. God, really putting me in a compromising position. This is just terrible. I'll figure something out. Andy's probably already heard it before though. But yeah, Paul, this Seattle team. I mean, the division. I don't know if first place is up for grabs because Vancouver's in it, but second place certainly is up for grabs because no one's been able to take control. Seattle's got LA twice this season, so what can you do to move up the division there? I like this roster. Doug Day, one of the best GMs out there. He knows how to build a team. He's passionate about building a team, and I'm interested to see what Seattle looks like when they hit the field. I can't. I don't know what to do with this infighting between Skippy and Curtis. I don't know why I'm always surprised to see them harassing me all night long, but I do appreciate all the super chats from everyone throughout the evening. Sioux Falls is next. Is Jason Williams what they need? I think it could be yes, Paul, because this team, when they had Colin Hart, they were the real deal. Marcus Duncan was a young running back, and unfortunately I didn't see him signed to a roster, so he's in the wind. But Jason Williams is something special. He falls into Sioux Falls' lap this offseason, and the Sparrows could be back in full force with him in the backfield. Yeah,
Jason Williams, again, my former coach, helped me introduce me to the league and get started. And then I think he's going to be, like you said, a massive, massive impact for Sioux Falls. You also bring in Nana Leahy, former Seattle Nemesis. I know Nana's a good dude. And drafting Hadrian Marlowe, former Lexington. Again, shout out all my minors making their debuts here this weekend. And shout out everyone making their debuts this week.
Yep. 56 bodies and some more that went undrafted. That's always one of the most exciting things about week one is to just see everybody back out there on the field. Low-key, Julian Tyree now has an opportunity to become the SFL's all-time leading passer. With Matt Wilson stepping away, you're talking about a guy that's likely in the next class of the Hall of Fame, of the SFL Hall of Fame. Tyree's always a beast. Of course, A.J. Levy. You know what you get out of Sioux Falls. Nick Fargo's back. Fargo's a beast. Talk about somebody that knows how to keep off the weight. Man, Nick Fargo is in shape. That dude is always posting on social media. Shout out to Nick Fargo for keeping it tight and giving us all inspiration, because I certainly need some these days, and Paul has already admitted that he does as well. So it's all good for Sioux Falls, and they're on their way. Tulsa, curious team. Tulsa, they have Gabe Manning and JQ, and they were the first team with a winning record to not make the playoffs in league history last season. I think this team's probably going to be pretty good, Paul. They've really made some strides over the last couple years.
Yeah, Cam, it's a tough to miss the playoffs with a winning record. And Tulsa, I know they're coming back hungrier this season. I know my guy Marco Swift out there. I know he's passionate. He loves the SFL. He's putting something together down there in Tulsa. So again, bring in Lars Bazar at fullback, give Dougie Brown some more blocking. JQ coming back again. Bring in DJ Bandit from the Baltimore. So I wonder if DJ Bandit has some hidden tips for Tulsa to give them some Baltimore experience, and
Right.
maybe, who knows, maybe that veteran leadership can help them take the next step as well.
$2 super chat from, let me get this right, Coffee and Guns, Coffee with a K, asking who's the all-time kick returner. Well, it's Gabe Manning with Tulsa and Jeffrey Daggs in Mexico City. They're kind of going tit for tat, back and forth. Ivory Irvin is now in the mix too. Alamo City remembers him from the season 18 championship game. But yeah, Gabe Manning is always an absolute beast, and you just never know when he's going to get unlocked. And if you got a weak secondary, like maybe a Queen City, Paul, like that is the worst nightmare to look across the roster and see, oh my gosh, they got Gabe Manning. There's no way we're going to be able to contain this dude. But there's a bunch of weapons on that offense, Douglas Brown namely, that is worth mentioning as well. All right, our last team before the season 20 kickoff, it is the Vancouver Legion. 7 straight playoff appearances potentially on the horizon if they can make it in season 20. Here's the mean thing I'll say about Vancouver. They can't get out of the first round. They're 0-6 in second round SFL playoff games. They are 6-0 in first round playoff games. Now, here's what I'll say nice about Vancouver. All y'all out there missing the playoffs all the time, Vancouver is never missing the playoffs, and Vancouver is likely to be back. They are the clear division favorites, Paul. But what do you see out of this, out of the roster and out of Vancouver's long-term goals here?
Yeah, looking at their roster here, what I see right off the bat is there's a lot of all-star appearances here. A lot of people that have been all-stars, and they've been all-stars numerous times. Again, keep the same roster other than bringing in Zach Lay from San Diego. And he has 6 seasons in the league, so just bring some more veteran leadership into the secondary. And again, I know they're in our division, but I know they're a tough team. But like I said, Seattle's coming, and almost stole one there last season from Vancouver, but I'm excited to play Vancouver again here coming into season 20.
I really like the steps that Chris Curtis took last season to really be a compliment to Brett Killian. For a while there, it seemed like it was Brett Killian and everyone else, and now they have 2 receivers on the outside that can do some serious damage. That makes Christian Brown and the rest of this offense far more difficult to stop. Robert Redford and Brett Killian are another couple of guys that are most likely going to be part of that 2023 Hall of Fame class, because they've just been dominant for so many years, and it's just good to see him run it back again. I love watching this squad. They are so full of fireworks every week, and people thought that Tom Pepper retiring would be a death nail for Vancouver, but Christian Brown stepped in big time, and that may be a lesson to everyone out there that's wondering about Mexico City. Christian Brown came in, and Vancouver was okay, and so maybe Mexico City will be okay this year as well. All right, Paul, the countdown to kickoff begins now. Alamo City and Baltimore, a rematch of the Season 18 championship game. What are you looking for in this matchup tonight? What really sticks out to you?
As far as what I'm seeing, Cam, this Baltimore defensive front, looking at these 2 defensive fronts, this Baltimore defensive front is tough. To have as many sacks and to get as much pressure as they get on the quarterback, you need to protect the quarterback in Alamo City. And as far as what Alamo City needs to do, they need to knock Baltimore off. I know they're one of 26 other teams in the SFL that can't wait to take their shot at Baltimore. So as far as what I think is going to happen, I think we're going to see a close game here, but I think Baltimore is going to sneak away at the last second.
We'll find out throughout the night. Baltimore is 64-6 at home all time. They have never lost to the same team twice. Alamo City beat them in Baltimore when they were the Seattle Nemesis in that semifinal game. Can Alamo City be the first and shock the 3-time defending champs on opening night? We are about to find out. The countdown to making an impact is on. Paul and I are back for kickoff in a moment, joined by Tyler Falk and the rest of our stats crew. We'll see you in just a bit.
We see this look from time to time from the Knights. Third down, St. Clair deep drop back. He's going deep down the field. The pass is caught. Wide open 40, 30. It's Buck Studwell. 15, 10, 5 touchdown. New York. They're going to hand it off to Aid Shaw. He got the first down. A championship is coming to New York.
23 seconds, 22 seconds. What are they going to do here? 4 yards from the end zone. Dunhill going to throw again. Dunhill out to Hollywood. BDG Hollywood touchdown! Oh my. The Atlanta Swarm. How about it? Your champions, Georgia. 27-10 over Sioux Falls. Your Atlanta Swarm are title winners.
To the right, that's Carr. 2 down from the end. Handoff, Sandlin. Boy, he almost got hit the backfield, and Sandlin breaks it through for a touchdown for Seattle. What a run from Sandlin. He was dead to rights in the backfield and made something out of nothing.
Going to go 5 wide for Wigmore. Wigmore steps up, hit as he threw. Pass is intercepted at the 50 with room to return. It's Albert Begin again. 35-30. Albert Begin. 20, 10. Touchdown, Lone Star. Ivory Irvin not fast enough this time. And the Glory right back in it.
Second and 10 from the 38. Marconi back to pass against another blitz. Marconi's going to avoid a sack. Throw a ball deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a throw! What a throw! Touchdown! Minneapolis to Alvarez. Oh my goodness! A slow motion replay here. You've got to be kidding me. SFL is going to bring out the trophy, and Minneapolis is going to get to celebrate for the fans that came down. Receivers, 3 to the right side. Tallahassee needs a stop. They haven't gotten one here in the third. And Cochran's go to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. And Alaska has 9 points here in the third quarter. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the Alaska Storm. They are your Season 11 SFL champions.
How about E.J. DeCue, Patrick Kelly, and Sean Crooked on that line. Great protection for Jackson. Now Moses is running over people, as are the rest of the Scorpions, and they bite him for a touchdown.
This Matt Wilson's pass is caught for a touchdown. What a throw to Dijon Swan. The Mexico City Aztecs, headlined by team owner Ramos Lin, gets their first SFL championship, a 38-24 victory over Chicago.
Tonight.
Wigmore now 10 of 13, 76 yards, 14th pass of the day. Wigmore fires it outside, it's intercepted! John Barnhart, touchdown! Sioux Falls, he does it again for the Sparrows in the postseason!
Showing a blitz on the outside, it's Queen City. Everyone stays home. Darnell Black runs past everybody, picks up a block. Darnell Black in the open field. 40, 35, 30. Being chased by Shine. He won't catch him. And the Hyenas have cut it to 7.
Mama, there goes that man.
Stats all-star crew for a terrific start so far. Third down and 9 to start the second quarter. Ivory Irvin's over the top, and it's a touchdown for Baltimore.
Jark Tarkington has a chance to win it.
Oh my goodness. For all of that, and Tarkington gives Baltimore their 3rd straight title. Oh my goodness.
Well, McChesney gonna get a carry. Oh, there goes McChesney. One man to beat, he breaks it. Jaron McChesney down the sideline. Francis trying to catch him. Not today, young fella. Touchdown, Denver. They're right back in it. Down to 15 seconds left. Zuli back to pass. He's going to Corky. It is caught. And he puts it down. Touchdown, DC. Greg Corky.
They got to pull out something miraculous here.
DC can't let him get behind him. They got to keep everything in front of him here. This is the ball game. Daniel Garcia back to pass. He's going to throw it deep to the middle. The pass is caught, and the tackle is made. And the DC Dragons have won the championship by a miracle on Zach Zuli's throw to Greg Corky. And I let the fellas give me a breath.
Welcome, one and all, to Baltimore, Maryland, a familiar sight as we get ready for Season 20. Tonight, the Alamo City Artillery in town to take on the Baltimore Vultures. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sports Gamers Online Stadium, where tonight more history is made as Baltimore raises their third straight championship banner. Along with Paul Sarp on the call, I am Cameron Irvine, Greg Soto, and Justin Reside is in our stat truck along with Jason Clay and J.R. Lawless. A full crew ready for Season 20. Paul, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Cam. I couldn't be more excited to be here with you and with the crew here for this game. Again, kicking off Season 20. Again, another season of SFL action. I can't wait. I'm excited. Let's get it, Cam.
Alamo City in the new looks. For those wondering, that is the old Lone Star Glory team. For all of the subscribers out there that are casual fans of watching SFL football, they are in the beautiful yellow tonight. Yellow helmets, yellow pants, white jerseys. Baltimore has won the toss. They will get the football first. There is no wind tonight. 49 degrees and cloudy. And we set everything to sim. And we're ready to go.
Yeah, Alamo City here kicking off to start us off here. So it'll be exciting to see them, see what happens here this first half. Again, try and take Baltimore off of that three-peat status.
Alamo City kicks it, and we are underway. It is Ivory Irvin on the return, out past the 20 to the 22, and that's where the Baltimore Vultures and Jack Wigmore will start with it. A tremendous offense, tremendous team are the Vultures, and it's Alamo City's job to try and stop them tonight. Wigmore.
Let's see what Jack Wigmore can do here.
We're number 9. They start out of the I formation. 8 in the box, and we start with an offside. That is how Season 20 gets underway. Free play, Wigmore, wide open, Maxima, past the 30, past the 20. He scores on the first play of the game.
Wow. What a way to start there, Cam. What a way to start. What's this flag going to be? You got offsides.
Are you kidding me?
What a way to start.
Maxima scores a touchdown on the free play. I mean, the offside was inconsequential anyway, but Shima right over the top of the defense, and we don't even get a chance to settle in. And just like that, Baltimore has a 6-0 advantage.
Hey, listen, one throw from Jack Wigmore, that puts him at 173 for his career. And what a time for that one to come here to start us off here.
Well, at least Alamo City gets to see their offense earlier than expected. But, yeah, not the start they were hoping for here tonight. This Baltimore crowd smells blood in the water already. They're in the white helmets with the black tops and white pants. The extra point from Shark Tarkington is good. It is 7-0 Baltimore. And, wow, if you're just tuning in, and there's quite a bit of you out there tonight, 208 at the moment. Just watched that Baltimore touchdown from Jack Wigmore to Max Shima. And the last time these two teams played, Paul, Warren Murray was the catalyst. He had 4 rushing touchdowns. It really wasn't Wigmore doing much. Ivory Irvin had a kickoff return touchdown. In fact, Wigmore did not even have a touchdown in that championship game. Here in the first 15 seconds, we see gets one to start Season 20. Ziggy Hronik with the kick return, and Ace Fennick comes out for the first time in yellow for Alamo City.
Yeah, last time these two teams met in Season 18 championship, like you said, Jack Wigmore didn't even have a passing touchdown. So to come out here in Season 20 to kick the season off and get his first touchdown of the season, couldn't ask for a better time.
Alamo City will start with 3 receivers and Brad Jones in the backfield and a Fennick pass. He'll dump it over the middle. That pass is caught for a pickup of 6 yards. And slow to get up. Will get up, though. is Alamo City's first reception of the night to Deuce Fennick, 2nd and 4.
And I think we're gonna need to see a lot of those little dump offs. And I think if Alamo City wants to win this game, I think they're gonna have to try to control the clock here and stay in this game.
Heavy look, 2nd and 4. Fennick flips it outside to Brad Jones, and Jones takes advantage of some aggressive Baltimore defense, but some really nice closing speed there on the outside will force a 3rd down and 1. The tackle made by new signee Keenan Samuels.
And receptions from Brad Jones, it's something we saw a lot of last season. He actually led the league with 113 receptions in season 19. So, again, I expect a lot more receptions to come from Brad Jones here tonight.
Brad Jones' first run of the game, and that is a 1st down to the 36-yard line. A 5-yard pickup wrapped up by Alvin Mack. Let's meet the rest of this Alamo City starting offense. Ace Fennick is your quarterback, who is off to a 2-2 start tonight. Wide receivers on the outside, Greg Soto, Deuce Fennick, Ziggy Ronick, and Hank Earl Troll. The tight end is Garrison Blue. Brad Jones and Thick and Juicy in the backfield for Alamo City on that offense. 9:10 to go in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, Baltimore, first play of the game, Mac Chima touchdown. Now Fennick on 1st down and 10, fires outside of his, caught for a 6-yard pickup. Somehow, Ben Stackenpaper unable to get there. Fennick with another catch, and Ace starts 3 for 3.
Hey, that Fennick to Fennick connection. I expect to see a lot of that here tonight and this season from them.
Lines are provided to you by Jack's Data. Baltimore is a 7.5-point favorite tonight, over under of 57.5. A bit conservative as we hit into week 1. You never know what's going to happen. Heavy set here on 2nd down at 4 for the artillery. Handoff on a stretch play to Brad Jones. Jones tried to get to the outside and lost 2 yards. Quickly cut down by Keenan Samuels. His 2nd tackle so far this evening will bring up a 3rd down and 6. Let's meet the Baltimore defense. On the defensive front, Joe Duncan, Al Walker, Nate Brown, and Sir Ron Yates. They have combined for over 200 sacks of their career. Linebackers are Frank Smith, Keenan Samuels, Alvin Mack. In the secondary, Enzo Bolt, Marvin Himes, Ben Stackenpaper, and Elijah Warfield, along with the safeties Giovanni Bolt and Troy LaShaw, roam deep. 3rd down and 6 for Fennick. Empty look with 4 wide. Fennick will drop the pass, fires it outside, caught, 1st down. Alamo City's drive continues. Pass is hauled in by Ziggy for the first time tonight. Ace is 4 for 4.
Yeah, 4 for 4 from Ace, coming out strong here on this opening drive. And big surprise here. Well, not necessarily a surprise, but a big signing from Baltimore's Keenan Samuels here, getting 2 early tackles.
7:53 to go in the first quarter. And the handoff goes to Brad Jones running left. Jones past the 40, 30. Brad Jones down the sideline of the 19-yard line. Gets Alamo City, almost did it there, into the red zone. Troy LaShaw with the touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, he almost turned the Jets on there,
Great
Cam.
block.
He just had one more to beat, and he was gone. But great tackle there to bring Brad Jones down there. Save a touchdown there.
Yeah, Greg Soto with an excellent seal there on the on this near side, and this is a really great answer from the Alamo City Artillery. This is the 8th play of the drive coming up. 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 19-yard line. Fennick 3 steps back and is sacked for a loss of 2. Flying in there was Al Walker. Pressure at Ace's feet almost immediately, and for only the 2nd time tonight, Alamo City's offense goes backwards.
Yeah, and they're speaking on that Baltimore defensive front. There's the first sack of the night for Baltimore. Again, big defensive front there, so I see them getting to the quarterback early and often, as we just saw.
They had 6 in the last meeting. Ace Fennick takes the quick out route available to him. Deuce Fennick now with 3 catches so far on the night. One thing Alamo City has done is kept the 3rd downs manageable. Another one coming up here on 3rd and 6.
See what Alamo City's going to do here. Let's see what they're going to call. See if they can get this 1st down and put some points up on the board.
6:40 to go in the opening quarter. Empty look here this time from under center. Watch that defensive pressure up front. 2 receivers either side. Fennick fires down the middle of the field. Caught. 1st down to the 4. Umpire can't get out of the way fast enough. That's a 12-yard pickup, and that is no, that's Hank Earl Troll with his first reception of the night. That is now 5 different players on this opening drive of the catch. First and goal at the 4. Impressive answer from Alamo City after giving up that opening play touchdown. Fennec looking over the middle, caught, touchdown, Alamo City. Greg Soto with another. That's 6 different players on this offense make a reception on the opening drive, and what a response on the road here from the Alamo City Artillery.
Yeah, Alamo City, first touchdown in Alamo City's franchise history. So to come and drive like that after getting beat deep on that first play, that's what Alamo City needed here.
Alamo City's drive will refresh here shortly, but 11-play, 62-yard drive for the Alamo City Artillery makes this a 7-7 ball game to start things off. Not what I expected out of this game at all, Paul, from the opening touchdown to Alamo City being able to answer in the way that they did and keep Baltimore's offense off the field. We are off to a great start to season 20.
Incredible start here. You love seeing points on the board early, and with Jack's data putting the over under at 57.5, again, it's the over is looking strong right now.
Ivory Irvin on the return will get out of the 25-yard line. John Weeks in the chat says, not going to lie, this is the most unique thing ever. Ever.
Ever.
Yes. Ever. I agree. Thanks for the compliment, John. Baltimore's offense, Jack Wigmore is a quarterback. Warren Murray, T. Roy Gaines, who we have yet to see there in the backfield. Ivory Irvin, David Anderson, the drafted rookie in the first round this season. Daley Holder, Mac Chima, your receivers. Tight end is Caesar Ackerman coming over from Jacksonville. And Wigmore is hit as he threw. There's a flag on the play. I believe that pass hit an ineligible receiver on his way down. That's Tina Begin applying the pressure. And that's what it is. Both of these defensive fronts, Paul, they are making things happen early for their squads.
Yeah, and again, Alamo City has to get some pressure on Jack Wigmore if they want to, like I said, stay in this game. And first drive so far, 7-7. We got an interesting one here.
Wigmore's numbers look pretty good early, but just one pass will do that to you. High formation for Baltimore. First and 15 after the penalty. Hand off to Warren Murray, and Murray picks up 4. Tina Begin had a pretty great season last season, top 10 in sacks, forced that penalty on Baltimore. Warren Murray was also pretty good as well. As mentioned earlier, they had a ton of difficulty stopping him in that season 18 championship.
Yeah, they had no answer for Warren Murray. 4 touchdowns, 130 yards, 20 carries.
Wigmore's pass caught by Irvin and picks up 7. That's his first gain of the night, 3rd down and 4. Let's meet this Alamo City defense on the front. Joining Tina Begin, Stephen Fellows II, Yogi Barr, and Jukin Rukin. Linebackers Jay Mart, Bogey Barr, and Rob Foraker. The corners are Ralgar Law coming out of retirement. Big pickup for them in the offseason to go along with Mickey McGuire. Safeties Rain Rie and Jukenruken Jr., along with Albert Begin and Jeff Spicoli. 3rd and short coming up for the Vultures halfway through the first quarter. Paul Sark, Cameron Irvine with you on opening night of our 20th anniversary season. 4-3 defense here. Wigmore will throw. Slants caught. First down. That is Caesar Ackerman with his first catch, taking over for Lloyd Graham Jr. And if Caesar Ackerman would have been on this team last season with the numbers that he had, Paul, he would have had a one heck of a season.
Yeah, as far as Caesar Ackerman goes, with Baltimore losing some receivers, last season Caesar Ackerman had 813 yards. The next closest on Baltimore would be Mac Chima with 768. So Caesar Ackerman has a lot of yards to fill up for Baltimore.
One of the more underrated signings of this offseason as Baltimore reloads. Chima with a pedestrian 5-yard reception after his 77-yard touchdown brings up 2nd and 5. Brad Jones on that first drive, 3 carries, 20 yards. Wigmore now 4 for 4 for an even 100. Fennick is 7 for 7 for 44 yards. So not a single incompletion here in this well-played first quarter so far. 2nd and 5, another offside, and another free play, and another shot.
Ooh.
This time, McGuire is able to knock it away, but you got to like the mentality there from Wigmore. Twice now taking deep shots on offside plays, and this will be a free 5 yards, and almost enough for a first down.
Yeah, if you can get that defensive front to jump off sides, you got to take that shot every single time. And obviously, it paid off that first play of the game. But trying to take that second shot there, just a little bit better covered there.
Coming up tomorrow night, the Mexico City Aztecs, led by Jordan Sipe, take the field for the first time with a new guy under center, taking on the Carolina Skyhawks and Ike McBride, formerly of this Alamo City Artillery. Kickoff is at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on SFL YouTube. That should be a fun game as Davison Joseph and the Skyhawks and company try to make some noise here in this Atlantic division that has been dominated by the Baltimore Vultures. Mac Chima with his 3rd reception moves the chains again for the Vultures. First down to the Artillery 37-yard line.
Yeah, Baltimore's been hearing the rumbles and the rumors in the offseason of everyone in the SFL coming for them this season, and they're letting everyone know why they are 3-time champs back to back to back.
Wigmore's looking sharp now, 3 in the backfield for Baltimore. They'll flip it out to Murray, and Alamo City was all over it. First TFL for the Artillery tonight as Gunny McGuire makes the tackle for Murray 3-yard loss.
Yeah, you don't see that too often, Baltimore going backwards. So let's see how they respond here on 2nd down.
3 wide, single back for Wigmore. 2nd and 13. Firing deep, looking for Chima, wide open.
Wow.
Touchdown, walk it in.
Again.
Nobody covering Mac Chima, and this offense is looking crisp.
Yeah, did you see that celebration there, Cam? He was making sure that the ball was alive. There wasn't anyone near him.
That is just too easy. You cannot expect to win in Baltimore giving up touchdowns like that. And so far, 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns out of both these teams. They're going to wear me out early in the season.
Yeah, still waiting here for that first incompleted pass, but both teams coming out here like they want to win the game here.
A combined 13 for 13 passing. Neither defense has had any kind of answer. And Baltimore takes a 14-7 advantage. We'll have the kickoff. And we'll send it down to the sidelines. Alamo City's challenge is going to be keeping up, I would say, with the Joneses, Paul, but Brad Jones is on their team, so keeping up with the Chimas and the Wigmores, I suppose. This is Ziggy Roenick on the kickoff return. Past the 25 to 26-yard line, and now we send it down to the sideline for Tyler Falk with our first report of the evening. Good evening, Tyler.
Hey, Cam, good evening to you. The hibernation is over, the famine is done, and we can feast on some SFL action finally. I was thoroughly impressed, along with most of you sitting at home, with Alamo City coming out after a gun punch at the opening of the game to have a perfect percentage on 3rd down against the same Baltimore Vulture squad who gave up the least amount of 3rd downs in season 19. Incredible start for Alamo City. Let's see what they do here on their 2nd drive.
Great point, Tyler. Thanks for the report, and we'll look forward to getting your reports and inside information down there on the sidelines all night long. Ace Fennick to Greg Soto completes that one for 3, and it's 2nd and 7.
Yeah, Greg Soto with the little toe tap there on the sideline. I like it.
Soto at the bottom of the screen. 3 receivers all here to the near left side with Brad Jones, the single back. 7 in the box for Baltimore. Fennick going to pass again. Fires it outside. That is caught by Deuce Fennick, his 4th catch of the night. Will set up a manageable 3rd down. That has been the name of the game for the artillery so far tonight, Paul, but a dangerous game they're playing, trying to keep pace with this Vulture offense.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough. Again, 14 points here in the first quarter. Alamo City's going to have to keep the ball on the offensive side to keep Baltimore's offense off of the field.
Jones spins and is short. Tackled from behind by Suron Yates the fourth. I think it may be a little too early to go for this one. I like what Jones did, though, there. I thought for sure that was going to be a TFL, but did what he could to try and get the first down. Alamo City will punt for the first time tonight.
Yeah, that's just a great tackle by Yates the fourth there to be able to get this Alamo City offense off of the field and to get that scorching hot offense back on the field. Let's see if Baltimore can go 3 for 3 here to start this game.
Punt is away. Fair catch called for at the 29-yard line by Irvin. So 2:01 to go in the first quarter, and that's where Baltimore will take over. The Vultures 64-6 all time at home. They have accolades upon accolades upon accolades for this ball club.
Yeah, ever since they came into the league back in season 11, they have just been dominant. Yet to see a losing season from them. Yet to see a season where they've lost more than 4 games.
Wigmore steps up in the pocket, hit as he threw, passes tipped and intercepted. Alamo City gets the first turnover of the night, and Albert Begin takes it away, and the artillery defense responds with a stop.
That's what they needed there, Cam. First incomplete pass of the game, and it is tipped for an interception. Got great field position here. Let's see if Alamo City can capitalize on that.
Deflected by Jay Mart, and there was pressure up front on Jack Wigmore as well. You know, Alamo City, talk about their defense struggling prior to that last play. They actually have a franchise, they've given up 66 points in a previous playoff game to Baltimore. That's a franchise record high, but they've also scored the most points in franchise history here in this stadium in that semifinal win, that 49-47 win. It's very unusual to see 2 records in the same stadium. Brad Jones goes for a loss of 4. He's struggling to find room on the outside, Paul.
Yeah, 2 records in the same stadium with the same 2 teams playing.
Right.
Sure, it might not have been in Alamo City, but again, 2 historic franchises here. It's just odd to see a stat like that.
Jones picks up 11. LaShaw with the tackle. Jones has been wildly successful off this left side, not so much the right. Really good blocking down the field. Garrison Blue and company pick up a couple.
And Alamo City looking to capitalize here. 3rd and 3. Need to get this first down here to move the chains.
Another 3rd and short. This is their 5th 3rd and 6 or less in the first quarter. They're on pace for 20 such plays. Jones aligned to the left on a 3rd down and 3 with an offset line. They run that direction, but Al Walker blows it up in the backfield. A loss of 3. This defensive front, something that it probably goes the most unnoticed about this Baltimore team. They win the line of scrimmage on defense, and Alamo City can do nothing with the interception.
Yeah, when you have that type of pressure and you got the defensive line behind the line of scrimmage, bringing the running back down, that just can't happen there for Alamo City.
Meanwhile, Ace Fennick is still a perfect 9 for 9 tonight. This is a good punt. Will drop down to the 3-yard line and roll to the 2, where Begin downs it. So Baltimore will start in their own territory. Wigmore's first incompletion, that interception, but Fennick 9 for 9 for 50 yards and a touchdown to start the game. Brad Jones updated numbers, now 7 for 26. Still a decent average, but Baltimore imposing their will recently.
Yeah, and let's see what Baltimore calls here after that interception. I know it was an unfortunate tip pass that was picked off, but another one.
3.
Another offside.
Offside, and another deep shot, and another completion to Daly Holder, and Baltimore gets out of their own end. Alamo City has got to get their wits about them. They are a ball of nerves in this first quarter.
Yeah, again, first game in franchise history. Does look like Alamo City is a little nervous. That's the 3rd offsides penalty on them, or 3rd neutral zone infraction, and Jack Wigmore is just taking advantage of it. Again, that's the 3rd time they've been offsides, and the 3rd time he's aired it out for deep.
And sometimes you get frustrated with quarterbacks because they don't take that shot, right? They just check it down, or they're just not aware that the flag even happened. Jack Wigmore looks incredibly aware tonight, despite the 1 interception. Holder getting involved as well. And Wigmore now passing again, hitting Chima for another first down to the 45-yard line. 5 catches for 151 in the first quarter, Paul.
That is unbelievable, man. Mac Chima, he came out angry tonight.
On pace for 600 yards. I don't think we're going to get that, but you never know. Alamo City, Baltimore, end of the first quarter, 14-7. Keep it right here. Paul Sarp, Cameron Irvine with you along with Tyler Falk on the sidelines. J.R. Lawless, Jason Clay, Justin Reside, Greg Soto in our stat booth tonight as Warren Murray will pick up one, but another offside. This is getting ridiculous. Alamo City continues to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know if they're just nervous or if Jack Wigmore is catching them off. But again, Baltimore is capitalizing every single time off of these penalties.
Alamo City really cannot afford to fall down too far. We know this team is next to impossible at home, but especially if you fall down by a few scores, it could be lights out, and that's not what Alamo City needs. Wigmore is under pressure, and teed up again. Brings him down with a force. Initial pressure was provided by Juke and Rook, and it shuffled Wigmore in the pocket, and that wipes away the offside.
Yeah, that's what Alamo City needs here from this defensive front. Less neutral zone infractions, more sacks.
So all's well that ends well. You know, sometimes you have a hyper-aggressive defense and they jump offside, but they can also get you sacks. 2nd down and 10. Handoff to T-Roy Gaines for the first time tonight, and he gets a healthy 8 yards right up the gut. Ralgar Law on the tackle sets up a 3rd and 2 for Baltimore.
And Cam, to go off what you said earlier, how Mac Chima is on pace for 600 here, I saw in the chat that he is on pace for 7,200 yards for the season.
Wigmore out of the shotgun on 3rd and 2. And Wigmore steps up in the pocket and is going to be sacked. This time it's Yogi Barr grabbing him by the ankles and throwing him down as Wigmore nearly escaped the pocket. And Baltimore is going to come up empty again. Alamo City's defense really stepping up unless Baltimore, no, they're going to punt the football.
See, going forward on 4th there, I wouldn't have been shocked by that call there. You got the ball, you're up 7 in the opposing field territory, but we see the punt here and looks like another good one.
Same end of the field too, but can't save it. That is no play there from Baltimore's Felix Maryland, and that'll put the ball at the 20 for Alamo City, a break for the artillery. Last time these two teams played in that Season 18 championship game, Baltimore had 6 sacks, and Alamo City had none. Here tonight, 2 for the artillery and none for Baltimore. They have had a couple TFLs on Jones, but no pressure or no significant pressure just yet on Fennick, who's still a perfect 9 for 9. Dropping back, going deep, fires a wobbly pass, and Ben Stackenpaper nearly kept that alive. Pass is incomplete. That one just sailed on him, his first incompletion of the night.
Yeah, and he almost caught that with his 2 feet there instead of his 2 hands.
Shane Hill in the chat. I can't tell if this is Tony Romo or Paulie J talking. Huh? How about that, Paul?
I appreciate that, Shane Hill.
Doesn't get better than that. 2nd and 10 with 3 in the backfield, 8 in the box for Baltimore. Fennick going to throw quickly out to Jones. Baltimore quickly there, but Jones breaks a tackle, and Jones nearly got a first down. Giovanni Bolt, nice open field tackle, but Brad Jones making a difference in this first half. While he hasn't been able to erupt outside of the 117-yard run he had, he's making the first guy miss more often than not.
And let's see what Alamo City does here. 3rd and inches. Need a big first down here to continue this drive.
Jones got it, and they have they've been willing to go to Brad Jones in these short down situations that Baltimore typically dominates up front and brings up first down for the artillery.
And between these two teams, Cam, again, it's been a while since either one has had a losing season. Again, last 5 seasons, neither team's had a losing season. Seen success both ways.
Jones again. This time, Sir Ron Yates cleans it up in the backfield. That is the 6th tackle for loss in the first half for the Vultures. Yates, Samuels, and Walker all with 2.
Yeah, Baltimore's front, man. I've been saying it since the start of this game and even in the pregame show. They're dominant.
2nd and 12. Fennick steps up in the pocket, fires it out to Soto, caught over the outstretched arms of Bolt, and Warfield makes the tackle at the Baltimore 26. A dime this time from Ace Fennick to Greg Soto.
Yeah, that was just an absolute dime right there. And Greg Soto here, he's actually making the push here for 5,000 career yards. He needs 131 on the day, and it looks like that puts him right around 40 yards. So he needs about 90 or so to get to 5,000 on his career.
Soto makes the play. And we'll get some updated team numbers for you here very shortly. Toss. Brad Jones, nothing. Wow, this is dangerous here now. Suron Yates with the 3rd tackle for loss. Alamo City elects to go no huddle here. 2nd down and 12. 6:40 to go. Fennick going to throw. And this goes out to Soto. That pass is hauled in for a 6-yard gain. Now 3rd and 6 as Alamo City turning up the pressure on the Vultures.
He has a nice one-hand catch there by Soto.
Tight trips over to the left side. They'll fire it out. Wide open Deuce Fennick inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. What a change of pace here for Alamo City. Ace Fennick now 13 of 14.
Alamo City catching Baltimore off guard here in the 2nd quarter.
Fennick under center, tosses it out to Jones again. This time he has a little bit more space, and Jones picks up a couple, and now Alamo City will calm things down, and that gives us a chance to update the team stats for you here this evening. But wow, what a job by Alamo City. They have looked like twice that this game could get out of hand, and the artillery have bounced back both times.
Yeah, and that's what we want to see. We love seeing a close game here. We don't want to see a blowout here to kick off the season.
A solid 5 yards per play so far for Alamo City. They go to the end zone. Wow. It's caught one-handed. Wow. Oh, what a ball to Deuce Fennick, and it's a 1-point game.
Fennick to Fennick, man. Wow, what a catch. 6th catch for Deuce Fennick here.
Woo! That was family-to-family connection right there. It's almost like he knew it right at the snap.
Wow.
Another tremendous drive. Out of Alamo City. 10-play, 69-yard drive. That's back-to-back double-digit drives for the artillery, and we are tied 14 apiece with 5:48 to go in the first half. You can join the Simulation Football League if you are not a player already and want to get involved. Hit that QR code down there at the bottom of the ticker. Scan that thing, get to our website, and get involved, simulationfl.net. Alamo City and Baltimore are tied at 14. The artillery have not led tonight, but they have twice answered long touchdown passes by Baltimore to Mac Chima. Now Ivory Irvin gets a chance. He gets it out to the 25. He has been kept in check. Begin with the stop. And Baltimore starts anew. Wigmore 9 of 10 for 203 yards, averaging 20 yards an attempt.
And Ivory Irvin, they're holding him back from returning some kicks. He is one of the better return men in this league, and being in top 5 punt returns last season. Again, 6th highest average with 25.1 yards per kick return.
Wigmore deep again, caught by Holder again. 1st and 10 to the 48-yard line with 5:33 to go in the first half.
Jack Wigmore is just he's just dropping dime after dime, just eating this secondary up.
Down to Tyler Falk at the sidelines. Tyler.
Hey, thank you, Cam. And what a great game so far to begin the 20th anniversary season. And as we've all known or grown accustomed to, there's so much more to be involved with football. Jack Stata and a whole bunch of other cast and crews have been now integrated with part of the league as, hold on just a second, as we almost had an interception. Holder almost getting a second one. But we've got so many new communities jumping and integrated now part of our community. Jack Stata with their Who You Got and their detailed statistics. We've got our new weekly fantasy that was introduced last season and is now fully integrated with our community on Discord. We have Johnny Pickler's Survivor Pool, the only way to make money here in the SFL, and so much more. What a great start to the season. Lots of fun ways to get involved with the league here in Season 20.
Pass caught by Ivory Irvin is just shy of a first down. Thank you, Tyler. It's third down and inches coming up with 5:03 to go in the first half. Irvin hauls it in. He's got a couple catches tonight.
Yeah, Ivory Irvin just trying to move the chains here for Baltimore, trying to go into this, trying to get 7 more points on the board to take the lead here with a few minutes left here in this first half.
Under 5 to go here in the first half. Tight set here. Handoff Murray, and Murray is stopped in the backfield and loses 4. Alamo City gets the stop.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Alamo City needed there. They needed a stop there to get the ball back to possibly take their first lead of the game here.
So Baltimore will punt this football away. Alamo City's defense with yet another stop. Again, they have not taken the lead here tonight. This is another punt inside the 10. Can Baltimore stop it from going in the end zone? They cannot. Again,
wow.
Felix Maryland takes it in. Give that man a pink slip. Alamo City getting back out to the 20-yard line.
Man, that's just unfortunate. Back-to-back punts there. Should have pinned them deep on the 1 or 2 yard line, but just couldn't get the ball before you reach that goal line there.
So Fennick back out there. This offense has been equally as impressive tonight for Alamo City. They'll hand it off to Brad Jones. Jones off that right side has just really struggled. Nate Brown with that stop. Jones, prior to that carry, 31 yards on 11 attempts. They are trying to establish the run. It is tough against this Baltimore front.
Yeah, and again, I'm surprised to not see Ace Fennick continue to pass it. He's had great success here so far. So
Fennick fires right on cue. Paul picks up
there he is.
10. That is Soto with the catch. He's now got 66 on 5 catches and that 1 touchdown. Another third and manageable coming up for the artillery.
Yeah, Greg Soto and Mac Chima are battling here.
Third down and 2. Handoff, not going to get anywhere. Brad Jones is stuffed. Nate Brown again. Tackles for loss are out of control right now for the Vultures. That is the 9th negative play for Alamo City's offense in this game in 28 plays. So 1 out of every 3 plays for Alamo City that just about have gone for a loss, yet this game is still tied. Pretty fortunate there because the rest of their plays have been pretty great. Ivory Irvin on the return from the 40, and Baltimore will try to get something done in the 2-minute offense here coming up.
Yeah, Cam, seeing this Baltimore defensive front, seeing them get tackles for loss is something that nobody is shocked to see happen. They led the league last season with 99, and again, to already have as many as they do this season, or this game already to start.
First and 10 at the Baltimore 46-yard line. 2:44 to go in the first half. Wigmore fires it outside. Caught by Mac Chima. Chima has been balling here in this first half. Gets it out to the Alamo City 37-yard line. Jukenruken Jr. with his first tackle of the night.
Yeah, number 88 is an absolute problem right now. Mac Chima, what's that, coming up on 170, 175-ish yards for the game.
He appreciates the compliment. 133 for 5. Paul's doing some next level Tony Romo prognosticating with the 175. If he gets a touchdown here and gets 37 more, you'll be right on point, conspiracy theorists. Here we go. Wigmore. Actually, Chima went long, but Daly Holder's the one that makes the catch at the 19-yard line. Chima with 168 actually officially, so actually you nailed it thereabouts, Paul, but that brings us to the 2-minute warning, and we'll keep it right here. Alamo City 14, Baltimore 14. It's opening night of Season 20. Settle in, folks. We got a good one going. T-Pat with a $1.99 Super Chat. I already responded to you. Thanks, bud. Two minutes to go. 1st and 10 of the 19. Wigmore flips it out. Murray wrapped up, no gain on the play. And Barr rolls over. Boy, I thought he was hurt there for a sec. Bogey Barr makes his first tackle with a nice 2nd down.
Yeah, after making a hit like that, I would have been a little slow to get up too. I felt that one up here in the booth.
2nd down and 10, 1:35 to go. Wigmore fires it outside, knocked away. Looking for Chima. Pass knocked away by McGuire. He's having a nice night. 2nd pass deflection will set up a 3rd and long for the Vultures.
A dangerous throw there by Wigmore. That might have been the first poor decision that I've seen from Jack Wigmore tonight.
3rd and 10. Alamo City has certainly proven to be pretty great opponent here for opening night. They are giving Baltimore everything they got, as pretty much every team does around these parts these days. Wigmore 3rd and 10 going long. It is knocked up in the air and incomplete. Looking for Ivory Irvin down the field. And that will put Alamo City, that'll put their defense off the field. Rain Rie with the deflection.
Yeah, and I'm sure they would have wanted to get that interception there. You got Wigmore thrown into double coverage there, but to hold Baltimore to 3 points here, I think that's going to be a big win here for Alamo City to try to get some points up on the board before halftime and to get the ball back after halftime as well.
Shark Tarkington is a beast. It's worth noting that here in this first half, Warren Murray has 2 carries for 0 yards, Paul. T.Y. 1 for 8. They have not really established a run game whatsoever.
And this goes back to the last time they played in that Season 18 championship. Baltimore put 38 points on the board, won by 14 points because of Warren Murray, 130 yards rushing in the championship.
Tarkington's 35-yard chipper is good. 17-14 is your new score. And for the 3rd time tonight, Baltimore retakes or gains a lead, I should say, as Alamo City will look to counter. Both teams have all 3 timeouts heading into the final 80 seconds of action. Motor City in Denver. Also tomorrow, first time Motor City has ever hosted Denver. And I don't mean just since they moved to Detroit. I mean ever. They have never hosted the Denver Nightwings, and Gene Struthers will come in and take on last year's top rookie, Ibrahim Krieta, and the V8s. Koronic returns it out to the 21-yard line. 1:16 left. What do you want to see out of Alamo City on this drive, Paul?
Listen, I want to see Ace Fennec continue to do I want to see him continue to do what he's been doing. Again, continue to air it out. Got a minute 16 to send your team into halftime with a lead here against 3-time champs. Or back-to-back 3-peat champs.
2 receivers, 1 to either side. The handoff goes to Jones, and he got a key block late.
Oh,
Brad Jones,
wow.
50. Brad Jones, 40. Trying to outrun the defense, gets down to the 35-yard line. Brad Jones, they've been trying to establish it all night long. Jones finally breaks free. Excellent block down the field.
Hey, I know I said I wanted to see him air it out, but if you get Brad Jones on the outside like that and keep blocking like that, I'm sure Alamo City is perfectly fine with that outcome.
Garrison Blue, excellent block to spring Brad Jones picks up 33 on the carry, 60 yards on 14 carries here in the first half, and Alamo City's back in business on the Baltimore 35-yard line. Fennick with 2 in the backfield will drop the pass. There was pressure from his blind side. He's lucky that was not intercepted. Threw it back across his body. Joe Duncan applied some pressure. Deuce Fennick was the intended receiver.
Yeah, I was shocked to see him get that one off, but thankfully that he did. Stops the clock, saves your 2 timeouts. Again, 2nd and 10. You got a minute left to get some points on the board here.
2nd and 10 to the Baltimore 35-yard line. Fennick's out of the shotgun. First time we've seen this look tonight. 2 backs and 2 receivers in the pattern. Baltimore showing blitz. They back off. Rush 4. Fennick going deep. That pass is caught by Deuce Fennick to the Baltimore 12. Timeout Alamo City. They have 1 left back in the red zone. A touchdown gives the Artillery their first lead of the ball game.
Fennick to Fennick again. Making it look easy. Listen, that's 7 receptions for Deuce Fennick here in this first half. 53 yards. Getting it done.
He's balling. 1 timeout left for the Artillery, but the good news is they have plenty of time. Garrison Blue is off that imbalanced line at the top of the screen. Brad Jones with the fullback help from Njuzzi. And Njuzzi lines up to block, but quickly, I mean quickly, Nate Brown fired out of a cannon on a 2-yard loss. Now Alamo City going no huddle. Do they have anything but a run out of this? They don't need to do this as Jones picks up 4. They have all the time in the world. 38 seconds left. Baltimore's defense kind of scrambling a bit. They run again. They don't have a pass out of the formation, and Alamo City will have to settle for what could end up being a costly field goal as the Artillery had a great chance to take the lead into the half.
Yeah, that was some interesting play calling there, but again, to go into halftime here, tied up, if they make this field goal against Baltimore, can't ask for much more here from Alamo City.
They will get to bleed the clock all the way down as Baltimore is not going to take any timeouts. Actually, Alamo City's going to take one there with 3 seconds to go. Make sure everything is everybody's set and everything is right. There's a look at head coach Greg Soto. Can't be a fan of that 1-minute execution, but all's well that ends well here as Matt Fennick will get a chance to tie the game. He's 2 field goals away from 100 on his career, Paul.
Yeah, to hit that milestone, it's a pretty impressive milestone. That's a lot of that's 300 points there in this SFL.
28-yard chip shot. Easy money for Fennick as long as he doesn't get blocked. And that kick took a minute, but it is up and good. And we end the first half tied at 17.
And this is what we came to watch here, Cam. Got a great game here. 17-17 headed into halftime.
We'll get a look at first half stats and highlights before we take a quick break to reset everything. But a phenomenal first half, Paul. Alamo City and Baltimore giving us everything we could have hoped for. Fennick 16 of 18. Wigmore 13 of 17 for over 250 yards. And Brad Jones 60 yards on 17 carries in his first game in blue and yellow.
Yeah, everyone knows what's at stake here coming into season 20, and everyone's coming to play here. Again, a bunch of highlight plays here, a bunch of great plays. The only thing I would say from Alamo City that's hurting them is all of these penalties. Again, giving Baltimore a lot of free plays, as you see here on the highlights. Again, defensive front for Baltimore, living up to expectations. I'm excited to see what we're going to see here in the second half, Cam.
Brad Jones has found some space on a couple of instances. LaShaw's made a couple of important tackles. I think the most impressive thing to me, Paul, is that Baltimore has not completely won the line of scrimmage here tonight. I mean, they've definitely had the advantage throughout the evening, but Alamo City has really held their own, and their defensive line has given pressure of their own.
yeah, the offensive line at Alamo City, they have one of the toughest tasks that they can have going up against this Baltimore front. But giving Brad Jones some blocks here to give him some running room, and again, giving Ace Fennick enough time to just continue to throw dime after dime and eat up this Baltimore defense.
Officially 267 passing yards for Jack Wigmore in that first half. They've held Ivory Irvin in check too, by the way, in the kick return game. That's been another key component to this one, as Irvin had the kick return that really kind of turned the tide of everything in that Alamo City game. That was actually his second career game as a kick returner. It used to be Giovanni Bolt here in Baltimore, and that was actually his first career kick return touchdown. Since then, he's proved to be a very lethal weapon. Alvin Mack, the linebacker, chased down Brad Jones on that long run, and the field goal ends the first half. Paul, I, and the rest of the gang will be we'll start the second half momentarily, but we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. Stay tuned for more highlights of our 20th anniversary
Cooley,
season.
top of the screen.
Be right back.
Against Kenneth Lyons. Red Feather to throw. Red Feather going to the end zone. It is a touchdown. Cooley, the Bulldogs have the lead.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. In the backfield is Streeter with 1 more. Hand off Streeter, going to try to find a hole. He does. He's going to try to break another tackle. He does. Out to the 20. He's going to go for the pylon, and he's going to get in to the house. Reggie Streeter with his 4th touchdown scamper of the day gives Louisiana their first lead of the day.
You might want to look at Reggie Streeter with his 4th touchdown, but watch the block here. It looked like number 59 for the Vancouver Legion here was going to have the angle on him.
On the previous play, they represent the city of Broad Shoulders.
The player with railroads.
And the throw by Dunhill is complete to Jamal Wooding, and he scores the touchdown on the very next play. Touchdown, Atlanta.
Wow, Atlanta derails the Chicago defense on that play. He gets behind him.
Everybody let him go, and Maurice Burton was the only one back.
2 backs and 3 receivers as Marconi drops to throw, and no pressure on Marconi at all. The pass is picked off, and the defender or the receiver fell over. That's Koyama Shigeki, and he scores. Touchdown Legends on a pick 6 from Marconi. And the receiver fell over as he breaks for the football. Actually, Cooley thought he had a catch and was just trying to get his feet in bounds, and the Legends. Second down and 6. Titan is down 4. Cantrell empty backfield, and Cantrell off his back foot. Touchdown! What a throw from Cody Cantrell to DR Sim. That was masterful.
I thought that for sure was going to be knocked away or picked off. Anytime you see any SFL quarterback scrambling out of the pocket, it's usually not a good sign, but DR Sim gets so wide open here that he has such a huge target there for
Two-step drop from Pickler over the middle. Another interception. Going.
Good
Had a big game last week, and he's off to the races. No one can catch him. Baltimore are cruising here in the first half. Touchdown Vultures.
And we just talked about it. Johnny could not afford the mistakes. That's his 2nd interception thrown here in his first half. Alvin Mack, I've said it time and time again, every time I call their games, he gets sideline to sideline as well as any linebacker in this league. He takes advantage of a bad situation and turns it to 6.
They'll start off with no Jared McChesney, and Josh Miller will throw. Looking top of the screen, it's picked off right into the hands of Iverson Gamble. A great start for Arizona. Gamble chasing down to the sideline, and Jeremy Mosley prevents a touchdown. What a play for Iverson Gamble, the 7th-year corner, and what a start for the Scorpions.
Second down and 10, 3 receivers. Now they go to Parker on a stretch. Haven't seen that much of the night. Breaks the tackle, and then another, and he's down at the 1. he looked into me, honestly. Let's see the replay again. Parker breaks 2 tackles. Orlando's just throwing a little bit of everything at him tonight. And he's off.
3 receiver set. William Dula in the gun. William Dula to throw, firing deep over the middle. Has a man, Jalen Miller, past the defenders, 5, touchdown, Carolina. Jeff Duffy in the chat just now saying Carolina is never out of it. Don't count them out yet. Well, there you go.
Bombs away, boys. Here it comes. Down the seam, just running a go, and no one's going to catch Jalen Miller. He's the biggest receiving threat.
And Legacy both off to the right side. And Garcia will pass. Garcia's in trouble, avoids a sack, fires deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a catch in traffic. It's a touchdown. Daniel Garcia makes an incredible play, launches it down the field to Clint Myers. And Clint Myers a little upset that Studwell's getting all the love. Over the outstretched arms of A.J. Levy, and Myers gets
Welcome back to Sports Gamers Online Stadium here in Baltimore. Check out sportsgamersonline.com or check them out on YouTube and see why millions visit the website and YouTube channel every year. Bronick returns it up to the 20-yard line. And here we go. If we get more of the same, Paul, in this second half, we're in good shape.
Absolutely. Let's see how Alamo City comes out here in the second half. Again, they're staying in it with Baltimore here, so I expect another great half of football here.
They start the first half with an empty formation, 1st and 10 at the 20. Fennick fires into some traffic, and Garrison Blue hauls in the completion. That's his first catch of the night and the 6th different player to haul in a catch for this artillery offense. They start with a first down.
Yeah, what a pump fake there. I don't know how he held onto the ball there. He fooled me. I thought he was throwing it on the pump fake, but nice pass there and a nice catch for a first down.
1st and 10 at the 35. Blue gets a breather. They go 4 wide here. Some press coverage up front. Just one single high safety. Fennick straight back. Risky play against the Vultures. Actually had Soto, but the pass rarely off target tonight here for Ace, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's shocking to see a throw like that from Ace Fennick. It's only his 3rd incompletion on the day, throwing 85% completion percentage right now.
And again, empty. Shotgun 4 wide. Jones 17 carries in that first half. They come out firing. Here in the second half, Fennick fires over the middle and was actually trying to get a block from Bronick, and Garrison Blue got all kinds of turned around for no gain. Will set up a 3rd and 10. This, Paul, their first 3rd and 7+ tonight, I believe.
Yeah, they've been moving the ball here on 1st and 2nd down, and it's just unfortunate that Garrison Blue spun the wrong way. But it's a nice catch, but let's see what they do here on 3rd and long.
Empty 5 wide. Fennick going down the field, wide open, and the defender fell over. That pass hauled in by Ziggy Bronick, just his 2nd grab of the night, and a rare defensive gap for Baltimore has Alamo City in Vulture territory.
Yeah, 3rd and long to get your receiver hit there on the outside. Bring the ball inside the 30.
Stacking paper.
Alamo City keeping the pressure on the Vultures here.
Stacking paper, sliding out of position to try and make the interception, and took himself out of position of the play. That pass goes for 28 yards thanks to Justin Reside. Greg Soto tracking that for us in the stat truck. Under center, Soto fires it outside. Again, that's caught. Loshaw with a tackle. Soto is spun over with a somersault. Gave me a headache just thinking about it. Picks up 4.
Again, Soto only 61 yards away from reaching that new benchmark in his career. 5,000 yards.
2nd and 6 at the 25. Soto leads the artillery in receiving yards with 60. The last time these two teams played, the artillery didn't have a single receiver over 60 yards. Fennick dumps it off short to Soto. That pass is caught for a 4-yard pickup and sets up 3rd down and 2. Fennick now 21 of 24.
And here we are again, Cam. Another 3rd and short. But Alamo City's, they've shown they can get those few yards here on 3rd down, and let's see what we got.
Split backs. They've run a couple times on 3rd down for not much gain. This time Fennick is sacked. And that's Sir Ron Yates making the stop, an 8-yard loss. Another tackle for loss by this defensive front. That's 12 negative plays tonight for the artillery.
Yeah, 12 plays for a loss. Again, Baltimore's defense doing what they do best, getting the offenses off the field.
Sir Ron Yates has 4 of those. And now Matt Fennick for the chance at his 100th career field goal from 46 yards away. Fennick boots it through. And Alamo City, for the first time tonight, has the lead. And Matt Fennick has now passed Matt Rage for 14th all-time and becomes the 14th kicker in SFL history to make at least 100 field goals on his career. Congratulations to Matt Fennick.
You got Matt, you got Ace, you got Deuce. The Fennicks, they're coming to play today. And again, taking their first lead of the game. Let's see what their defense can do and see if they can hold Jack Wigmore from another impressive drive.
Not only did he get 100 career field goals, but he also gave Alamo City the lead for the first time tonight. Ivory Irvin on the return, and he'll only get up to the 19-yard line. Let's go down to Tyler Falk with a report from the sideline. Tyler. Tyler? Oh, we'll get.
Where's Dave Axis when you need him?
There you go. Go ahead, Tyler.
Both these teams are on a winning streak, Cam, even though it's week 1 of the regular season. Lone Star, a.k.a. Alamo City right now, are on a 2-game week 1 winning streak after they lost back to Mexico City in season 17. Baltimore, meanwhile, as we wait, maybe a tip kick. Wow, that was
dangerous.
Baltimore, Cam, Baltimore is on a 5-season winning streak. So both these teams, someone's always got to go. Someone's got to lose here in week 1.
Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, 5 consecutive week 1 wins. Of course, for Baltimore, they win most of the time, but it's worth noting that they are especially difficult in week 1. Last season at the Vegas convention, they humbled DC 26-6 in a defensive slugfest. Another game their D-line dominated. Warren Murray takes a handoff here after the Wigmore incompletion. Just his 3rd carry, has 1 yard tonight. Barr with his 2nd tackle, and it'll set up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, Alamo City shutting down Warren Murray here. So taking a few tips from the last time they met and just not letting Warren Murray get started here.
Empty backfield, 5 wide for Wigmore. Just a 3-man rush. Alamo City drops 8, and McGuire picks off Mac Chima. Mickey McGuire's stellar night continues, and Alamo City just took the ball away from Wigmore with a lead.
Alamo City, are we on upset alert here, Cam?
I don't know, but Alamo City is making a pretty strong case for it early on. Mickey McGuire now 2 tackles, a pass deflection, a tackle for loss, an interception, filling the stat sheet. Ace Fennick going to start the drive off with a pass. Had Brad Jones wide open and instead nearly threw an interception. Pass intended for Njuzzi. Keenan Samuels was in coverage, but you got to hit Brad in the flat there.
Yeah, that's just good defense there by the outside linebacker, Keenan Samuels.
Nice
but Baltimore almost giving Alamo City a response interception.
2nd down and 10 off the incomplete pass. Fennec now 22 for 26, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. 2 backs, 2 receivers. Fennec fires to the far side of the field, caught, beat Loshaw in coverage, and that's Deuce Fennec once again, his 8th grab. Soto has 7 just behind him.
Another third and short here. Alamo City has been not dominating here on 3rd and short, but again, they've had success here so far tonight, so Alamo City trying to put some more points up on the board.
6 for 11 on 3rd down for Alamo City so far tonight. Baltimore just 1 of 5. 4 receivers, 3 tight here to the left. Fennec is going to step up and sacked.
There it is.
6 for 12 now, and that's Sir Ron Yates again. And that'll set up another Matt Fennec field goal. And after all of this strong start here in the 3rd quarter, 1 Baltimore touchdown can put them back ahead.
Yeah, Sir Ron Yates he's proving to show to Alamo City why he's the biggest problem on Baltimore's defense right now. Again, just getting in the backfield, 2 sacks for the day, 4 tackles for loss. Blocked!
They just blocked it. It is recovered by Rodick. He's got a first down. Oh, Alamo City! And what are they going to do with this play? The down and distance is still at the 37. Are they ruling that not able to be returned?
I've never seen
They are not crediting the return. They did not credit the return. The ball went back to the block spot, and Wigmore gets the ball at the 37-yard line.
Wow. That's just incredible.
So Wigmore going to flip it out to Gaines as Alamo City tries to recompose themselves. I'm trying to connect the pieces on this play.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, Cam, but that was a heads-up play there by the kicker after that got blocked.
We've seen a play. I feel like it was a couple seasons ago that we saw a wonky play but that was something special out of Ronick. Now Warren Murray, who has 1 yard tonight, goes down the sideline of the Alamo City 21-yard line and pick up a 35.
There he is, Warren Murray. Again, Baltimore needs to get him more involved, and that might be the start of Warren Murray's night here tonight.
T-Roy with an excellent block to spring Warren Murray. Murray jumps up to 36 yards now on 4 carries. Just like that.
Yeah, and yards per carry up to 9 now, and a lot better than the 1.5 he had in his first half here.
Wigmore and the Vultures making quick work after that blocked field goal. And now Wigmore fires it outside to Ivory Irvin, a 4-yard pickup at the Alamo City 17-yard line. There's the pretty good quarterback numbers that we've had tonight. 2nd and 6.
And again, those 2 interceptions for Jack Wigmore. First one was tipped, so that was just an unfortunate interception. But again, Jack Wigmore's been just lighting up this defense.
3 receivers, 2 backs in the backfield. For Wigmore, handoff to T-Roy Gaines, and no room there. Bogey Barr cleans it up. His 4th tackle tonight, set up a 3rd and 5.
And I think each tackle that he gets, he hits harder and harder after each tackle.
3rd down and 5, the Alamo City 16-yard line. Irvin top of the screen and Chima at the bottom. Look at the space between Chima and McGuire. You think they're nervous about Chima beating him beat? After he scored the couple of touchdowns, they flip it out to Murray. He's got plenty of space inside the 10. Warren Murray breaks a tackle down to the 2. 1st and goal, Baltimore.
Man, Baltimore looking to answer here. They want their lead back here, Cam.
4:38 to go in the first. After the blocked field goal, Baltimore has now gone 5 plays, 59 yards on the drive. Handoff to Murray, stopped
Big stop.
1 yard pickup. Tyler doing some work for us in regards to that wild play we saw in the last series. Make jump to him here in a little while. 2nd and goal with the 1. Wigmore trying to punch it in, and does. Mac Chima again.
Number 3.
Touchdown number 3 for Mac, and Baltimore is back up by 3.
Okay, Mac Chima, I see you. You do your little dance in the end zone there. Number 3, he's letting them know.
Extra point coming up for Shark Tarkington, but what a flip of momentum there, which, you know, can happen so often in an APF game. Not quite like that kind of flip of momentum, but Baltimore makes them pay. 7-play, 61-yard drive off the block field goal. Whether Hronek returned it or not, Baltimore still blocked the field goal, and that was bound to get some momentum for them there anyway. Baltimore with the extra point makes it 24-20 over the Alamo City Artillery. Ziggy Hronek will be back to return. Hronek on the return. Gets it up to the 20-yard line. All right, Tyler Falk, let's walk through this here. So, was it possibly touched by a second Baltimore defensive player? Maybe that had something to do with the call.
Yeah, Cam, this is almost a classic case of Leon Lett. Even though that play went beyond the line of scrimmage, the key word in the ruling is if the ball was touched by a defensive player after the block behind the line of scrimmage, then you can make forward progress with the football in this current state of our simulation. So unfortunately for Alamo City and for a lot of you fans out there, Alamo City not unable to move forward with the football. Baltimore takes over. They march down, scored that touchdown on the last drive.
Essentially, Tyler, it has to be touched by another defender other than the person that blocked the kick, right?
Correct.
Which did not happen. It carried him backwards. Hronek recovered. What's interesting is they allowed him to return it. I think maybe the refs may have needed some time to compose themselves as well. But that's a really good look at the rules there, Tyler. Appreciate that as Jones loses 3. Any more on that? Any more notes on that, Falk?
Not necessarily, even though we could go Leon Lett and go the whole story of the old Miami Dolphins scenario. But enough talk about the Miami Dolphins. I think this game has a lot more things to tell us before we close up shop tonight.
Thank you, Tyler. 3rd down and 7 to the Alamo City 24. Down 4. Fennec trying to avoid a sack, and he can't. Another 3rd down sack. This time Alamo City is going way backwards as Joe Duncan picks up yet another TFL for this defense.
Man, one thing that Alamo City's been doing good is they've been holding on to the ball. They're winning the time of possession battle, but again, Jack Wigmore and this Baltimore Vultures offense is just putting more points up than them.
Oh, they came after that and almost blocked it. Fair catch called for by Irvin, but they're going to start in Alamo City territory. 46 offensive plays tonight for the Artillery, Paul. 15 for loss. That's still an average of 1 out of every 3 plays, and they're only down 4. Baltimore's defensive line continues to win the day, and they have grown more aggressive in this second half, but Artillery continue to hold their own. Hand off to Murray, and Murray is stopped after only a 1-yard pickup. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to see Murray and T-Roy here try to run the clock down some, drive the field, and try to take Baltimore into the 4th quarter with a bigger lead than they already have.
Wigmore has 26 passing yards in the 3rd quarter, yet after 267 in the first half. Yet the Vultures have climbed up to take the lead. Wigmore is sacked. And there's the answer from Alamo City's defensive front. Tina began with the smooth jump shot. Gets her second sack of the evening.
And Tina only needs, I think, what is that, 1 or 2 more tackles here to reach 700 career tackles. No, that's Albert, not Tina. I'm sorry.
It's a family affair.
Family affair on or Alamo City, yeah. You got the Phoenix, you got the Begans.
5 wide. Caught Shima over the head of McGuire. You called me, but I thought you said vegan. And I said, how do you know anybody's a vegan? You said begin. Tina and Albert begin.
Begin. I don't know why. I don't know why I heard earlier. I heard vegan.
Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe they can tell me in the chat. I get things wrong all the time. Another terrific pass, though, from Wigmore to Mac Chima. Chima continues to eat tonight. He has been the dynamic weapon. 157 on 7 receptions.
Don't forget those 3 touchdowns, too. Again, that Wigmore to Chima connection looking more deadly than ever.
1st and 10 of the Alamo City 24-yard line, 1:06 to go in the third. Wigmore fires it outside. Chima again somehow stayed in bounds. Forward progress bumps him back to the 10. McGuire did his best to try and get the ball away from Mac, but another reception for Mac Chima. And it's just kind of like the last time these two teams played, Paul. Warren Murray was the dominant force on offense in that game. Mac Chima has been the dominant force in this game.
Yeah, Baltimore superstars. They show up when they need to show up.
1st and 10, just outside the 10-yard line. Wigmore is sacked again.
Wow.
They continue to come after Jack Wigmore, who had less than 10 sacks, or was sacked less than 10 times, I should say, all last season. Rukin with the sack. That is the 4th sack for Alamo City tonight, 2nd and 16.
Yeah, Alamo City's getting the pressure on Wigmore here. Again, not a quarterback that gets sacked a lot, so to get him down 4 times, that's a big thing here for Alamo City.
2nd and 16, pass into traffic, and it looked like Chima and another player for Baltimore was confused on the route. That was a strange-looking play there for the Vultures to set up 3rd and long. That was Caesar Ackerman, the intended target, potentially.
And it's just unfortunate that the both receivers ran into one another there. But 3rd and very long here for Baltimore.
3rd and 16. They need the half-yard line for a potential first down. They're going for the end zone. Oh, what touchdown. A dime! What a dime!
Wow.
Ivory Irvin scores. When he let that go, Paul, I thought there's no way that is getting in there. Look at this throw.
Let's see this again here, Cam.
Wow. Rain Rie in coverage.
Better than that.
You can't throw it any better than that. Rain Rie in coverage and just could not keep up with him. That's 14 unanswered for the Vultures since falling behind.
And Baltimore going into this 4th quarter here with what seems to be an 11-point lead here.
End of 3. Baltimore 31 and Alamo City 20. Artillery need to find some momentum with 11 to play here on Season 20's opening night.
Alamo City is going to need a very impressive drive here to stay in this game and give them a chance here to bring the victory in week 1.
Back to Jack's data. Things are getting tight. 57.5. The over-under. The community took the under. And Baltimore with the 7.5-point favorite spread they are currently covering. A touchdown changes that. The field goal does not.
Yeah, it looks like Jack's data is pretty spot on here with this season 20 kickoff here with this spread and the over and under.
Not bad for a week 1.
Yeah.
First and 10 at the 23. Ace Fennick got to get moving. Nice little dump off. Good play to start the drive. Soto picks up 7. And if I was Ace Fennick, who's played a near perfect game up to this point, Paul, I wouldn't be in any kind of hurry to get down the field the way the Baltimore's offense is cooking. Run some clock here, keep this close.
Yeah, they just got to keep doing what they've been doing all game. Again, they've just been long drives down the field, taking time off the clock, and just first down after first down.
Fennick hands it off to Jones, and Jones took a little bit while to get going there. Keenan Samuels, check that. Frank Smith with the tackle. That's his 5th of the night. Mack has 6. Surron Yates, if you could believe this, Paul, leads the team with 7 tackles. You never see that.
Yeah, he's just no one on this offensive line can stop him.
3rd and 2 at the 31. Another 3rd and short. Fennick changes the play at the line, fires it over the middle to a wide open receiver. That is Fennick again. 9th catch. Deuce Fennick has 9 receptions. Greg Soto has 9 receptions. Another first down for Alamo City.
Yeah, again, just keep doing what you're doing, Alamo City. Just slow, methodical drives to just make this Baltimore defense tire out quicker.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line. 358 yards for Baltimore, 264 for Alamo City tonight. Baltimore averaging 8 yards a play, Alamo City 4.5. Jones is roughed up in the backfield.
Another one.
And another TFL. Walker and Yates combined for the stop, a loss of 1. Second down 11 at the 43-yard line. Fennick out of the gun. Fires deep down the field. A little bit of a wobbler, but a pretty route run down the field by, that's Garrison Blue with another catch. This has been an impressive night for Ace Fennick and this offense. Blue wide open, another first down.
Alamo City, slowly but surely, trying to stay in this game.
Shotgun for Ace Fennick. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right. Fires it out. Far side, Soto caught, first down. 4-yard pickup. And that stops the clock momentarily with 8:31. Alamo City could use an 8-point play in the biggest way here with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I think they need to get 7 here. I don't think they can take this field goal here and come back and stop this defense. Ooh!
Fennick is almost picked off. Enzo Bolt had that would have been ball game.
Yep.
Game, set, and match if Bolt would have made that play.
No one was catching him.
Playing in the nickel slot this season for the first time. That would have been 38-20 in house. But instead, 3rd and 6 for Alamo City, 6 for 14 on 3rd down. 3 receivers, 2 backs in the backfield for Fennick. Nickel look here out of Baltimore. 8:18 to play in season 20's opening night. Ace Fennick to pass, goes short over the middle. The pass is caught. They are 1 yard away. Ziggy Roenick with the catch, his 3rd. If you kick the field goal, you're down 8. What do they go for? What are they going to do here, Paul?
See, I think they're going to kick the field goal here. Looks like they're bringing the offense out.
Will they snap it?
Big play here.
Baltimore's got 9 in the box. Haven't jumped offside all night long. Are they going to burn a timeout here? They need all of them. And the artillery will bring on Matt Fennick. Burn a precious timeout. It doesn't get any worse than that.
Trying to get them to jump offside, but again, that's just Baltimore showing their disciplined ways.
That's true. That's a good point.
Haven't jumped off sides yet this game, whereas Alamo City, they've jumped off sides 4 times now?
That's a good point, Paul. Easily, Baltimore feasting tonight especially Sir Ron Yates with the 6 TFLs, 17 total as a team. You think they're going to want to get a jump on that. They stay disciplined. That's how you win 3 titles in a row. 46-yard field goal for Matt Fennick. It will make it a one-score game. There is still plenty of time left. 7:36 to go. This is a cleaner kick, and Matt Fennick's kick is good from 45 officially. So 31-23 is your new score, and Alamo City continues to make a game out of this.
And Cam, we've seen wilder things happen here in the SFL, so a lot of time left for a one-possession game.
Fennick will boot it away. He's been busy. Irvin stands at his 2. On the return, and another good job by the Alamo City special teams. Ball up to the 25-yard line. Let's hit a game reset. Ace Fennick is 30 for 35 for 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, has been outstanding. Jack Wigmore, 20 of 27, 323, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 3 of those touchdowns going to Mac Chima, 167 on 8. Warren Murray just 38 yards on 6 carries, but it's been the Wigmore show. Deep drop back. That pass, was that deflected? At the line, Ackerman.
I think it was.
Ackerman picks up 7. It looked like either a linebacker or somebody may have gotten a hand on that. Ackerman still catches it for 7 yards.
And that's just good hand-eye coordination there by Ackerman.
Seven-yard pickup, 209 yards now for Chima on 9 grabs.
What a way to start the season off here for him.
Murray comes out of the backfield, and McGuire couldn't bring him down, so that's going to pick up a first down. Foraker with the stop, his 2nd tackle of the night, but it will keep the clock moving, and that could be the biggest enemy for the artillery on this drive.
Yeah. Yeah, if Alamo City wants to stay in this game here, they need the ball back here.
3 wide receivers, 2 to the top of the screen. Wigmore, 3-step drop, clean pocket, and Ackerman is starting to heat up here. Has been pretty quiet so far tonight, but his 2nd catch on this drive picks up 8 yards, keeps the clock moving.
Man, what a time for him to show up. Trying to close this game out. Caesar Ackerman showing up here on this drive.
2nd down and 2. Out of the I formation. Handoff, Murray, nothing. No gain on the play. Will set up a 3rd and short. And join us Monday night. Paul Sarp and myself will be back on the air for the London Knights, traveling to take on the San Diego Mavericks in a game full of players playing against their former team, and a whole bunch of intrigue around last season's top regular season team and the new-look San Diego Mavericks. It comes your way Monday night right here on SFL YouTube as that pass is incomplete, and Alamo City's defense is going to get off the field. Jay Mart swats it away from the intended target. I believe that was Orlando Bishop, another tight end on this squad, and Baltimore will have to punt the football, and Alamo City's got a shot.
Yeah, that's what they needed to do, and they still have life here in this game.
Punt is away from the 15. Gronick, that's a man or 2 miss, picks up 6. 5:32 to go in the 4th. The artillery have been efficient. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie things up. Four wide for Ace Fennick out of the gun. Fennick looking deep. It is knocked away. That was well covered. Elijah Warfield all over Greg Soto. Just the 2nd time he's been targeted without a catch. And that'll bring up 2nd down. A little bit over their skis there to start this drive. What's the hurry, Paul?
Yeah, And yeah, I mean, they're trying to. I don't want them to have to force anything again. Just go back to what they've been doing all game. Just a little dump offs, taking your shots when you need to take the shots, and just following through with the game plan.
Second down. Fennec going to hand off to Jones. Running left. He is dropped in the backfield. A 2-yard loss. Another TFL. That's Alvin Mack's third.
That's going to be number 18 for the game, Cam.
Golly. That's got to be approaching some kind of record. That is insane. Third down and 12. Empty backfield. 5 to go. Fennec over the middle. It is intercepted.
Kicked off.
Intercepted, which is far worse than an incompletion. Troy Loshaw with the pick with exactly 5 minutes to go, and now up 8 in range to go up 2 scores.
Yeah, it looks like that ball was tipped a couple times, and again, it was just picked off. That's Ace Fennec's first interception of this game, and it came at a costly time.
Now Alamo City needs to force a turnover of their own. 5 minutes to go. The 3-time defending champs have been tested as Murray is stopped for a 2-yard loss in the backfield. That's the 7th negative play for Baltimore's offense. And Rob Foraker gets his second tackle for loss this season. Second and 12. 4:35 to go in the fourth. Down they jump again. Rukin jumps offside, and Ackerman makes the catch. So they could take a 3rd and 3 or a 2nd and 7. For clock purposes, I'd take the penalty.
Let's see what they decide to do here. Looks like they decline it.
So they'll bring up a 3rd and short. You know what I'm thinking, right, Paul? Like if it's still second down, you take off even more time off the clock.
Just keep running the ball.
We know that Alamo City's going to get the ball back here. It's just a matter of what the score is. Even if Baltimore got a touchdown, and Alamo City still has an opportunity to go down and get a score and make things interesting late. 3rd and 3.
Who's going to be the one to step up here for Alamo City?
Let's find out. 3rd and 3 at the Alamo City 19-yard line. It's going to be a pass from Wigmore out to Murray. Murray's wide open. Murray stays in bounds. Tackle to the 13-yard line. Runs some more clock. Albert Begin on the tackle.
That's just a high IQ play there to stay in bounds. Keep the clock running. First down.
Almost would have been better. I mean, unless you get a turnover, almost would have been better to just let them score.
Yeah.
Under 4 to play. Wigmore. Hand off to Murray. Murray running left. Got a nice block from Irvin. Murray picks up 8 down to the 6-yard line. Well, no matter what happens here, Paul, I think Alamo City's got to be feeling at least decent about their chances this season. They have come into Baltimore week 1, a total crapshoot week, and they have given them everything they got.
Yeah, to come out here and go up against the 3-time defending champions and to play that first half the way that they did, almost flawless first half, to still only have a 1-possession game, I think they'll leave tonight with that victory with them.
2nd and 2 at the 6. Murray is covered, and the tackle's made by McGuire in the open field in the backfield. 3rd and 4 coming up at the 8. Baltimore just bleeding clock. Remember, they got the ball with about 6 minutes to go in scoring territory, and they just burned over 3 minutes off the clock.
Man, what Baltimore's doing here, they lost the time of possession battle here in the first half, but this second half, they're taking advantage of time of possession.
Oh, they jumped again. That's a first down, and the sack doesn't matter. My goodness.
Golly.
Just a mess. That bleeds more clock.
Unless, or are they doing half the distance here? That may be half the distance.
Yeah, I believe that's their 6th offsides there.
God, that's inexcusable. Just can't have that if you want to pull an upset on the road. They do give half the distance, so it's 3rd down and 1. This could be another throw here to Murray.
Yep.
It is covered, and Murray makes a man miss and scores. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Put him in a blender.
Needed to make one miss on the outside. That was McGuire. And McGuire's had a pretty good night tonight. Can't make that play. Now, not all terrible for Alamo City. They needed the ball back with as much time as possible. So they get 2:32 to try and get down the field, onside kick, and see if they can pull a rabbit out of their hat.
Hey, 2:32 left. I don't want to say this game's over, but we're just one quick touchdown, an onside kick, and another quick touchdown away from a tie game here, Cam.
38-23. Is your score, 2:32 to go. Just to reside in a stab booth or a rabbit out of the cannon. Yes, that would also work in this scenario. Very well said. 38-23 from the goal line. Roenick on the return. Gets it up to the 24. All right, well, 2:28 left. Ace Phoenix had a pretty good night outside that one interception, which Baltimore aptly turned into 7 points. If I'm remembering correctly, Paul, I think Alamo City has just one field goal off of the 2 Wigmore interceptions.
Yeah, they're getting these turnovers, but they just can't get points up on the board and capitalize on these turnovers.
1st and 10 of the 24. Fennec down the field. Soto, and that's what they needed to start this drive. A pickup of 22 yards. Alamo City, how many plays can they get off before the 2-minute warning? Good set here. 4 wide receivers, a single back in the backfield. Play action tonight for the first time, and Fennec's pass is tipped and nearly taken back the other way. Alvin Mack deflects it, so 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Man, that's the 2nd or 3rd time there for this Vultures defense that if they make that interception, there is nothing but grass in front of these defenders.
2nd down and 10 for Fennec. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the top of the screen. They run slants. That pass is nearly intercepted. 3rd and 10, 2:07 to go. Bolt in coverage, and the lines are still fighting. It has been a fight all night long for that offensive front.
And again, I know we're both seeing here all these tackles for loss by this Baltimore defensive front, but again, Alamo City's offensive line has been doing the best they can against these Vultures.
3rd and long. Ace Fennec wide open. Greg Soto, and that is a catch to take us to the 2-minute warning. Boy, did they need that. Great play call. Artillery still hanging on by a thread here in the season 20 opener. Keep it here. First and 10 to the Vulture 42. Great job by Justin Reside and Greg Soto in the stat truck all night long. Jason Clay and J.R. Lawless shadowing this evening, and that pass is nearly intercepted. Deuce Fennec was the intended target. Again, he's been pretty efficient as well. Giovanni Bolt, quiet night. They've kept the ball away from him, but when they've needed something deep down the field now, Bolt has knocked away twice, or 2 of them, I should say.
Yeah, it looks like Ace Fennec just kind of lofted that one out there.
Fennec is now 32 for 42, 291 yards. Soto's over 100, 114 on 12 receptions.
Ace down the field, knocked away. 3rd and 10. Loshaw with the pass deflection. That's now 9. So 27 of the 62 Alamo City plays tonight have either ended in a tackle for loss or a pass deflection. 3rd and 10. 1:53 left. Pass caught, turn in the corner. Fennick, he almost got there. And they actually mark him out of bounds, so the clock is going to stop. Frank Smith and Ben Stackenpaper combine on the tackle. They got to go for it on this 4th down. Good job by Deuce, though, to turn the corner.
And this could be the game here, Cam. Let's see if the Fenix can keep this drive going and keep Alamo City alive here.
4 wide. Look at all the space to the top of the screen. Someone's just got to run something shallow. And Ace hit as he threw, and the pass is out of bounds. Greg Soto was out of bounds. The pass sailed on Ace with pressure from Suron Yates. And that's a turnover on downs. Yates again. He's been my player of the game. Just unstoppable.
Yeah, Cam, and that looks like that might be it for Alamo City here in their franchise debut here.
Their home opener next Friday. Their home opener is next Friday, the 20th of January, hosting the Fort Worth Toros in a South Division clash. Not sure if anybody noticed, but no divisional games in Week 1 this season. We figured those games deserved a more important place on the schedule. Oh, Alamo City jumped off sides again.
Number 7.
What a nightmare.
Yeah, head coach Greg Soto is gonna have a few words with this Alamo City defense here after the game. That's just 7 times. That just can't happen if Alamo City is gonna be competitive here this season.
Baltimore outscores Alamo City 21-3 after that momentum-changing play made by their defensive front. Baltimore still does need a first down to run the clock out. And Murray got it.
And he's going to get it anyways.
Well, they keep Murray and T-Roy Gaines fresh for next week, Paul. Just 10 carries for Murray, 49 yards. T-Roy only got the ball twice tonight.
And hey, sometimes you don't need that rushing game to put 38 points up. And you got someone by the name of Jack Wigmore lining up under center for you.
Speaking of 38 points, the score is nearly identical to the Season 18 rematch. It was 38-24. This time it was Mac Chima. Last time it was Warren Murray. What's the expression? Same verse as the first, or whatever.
Same verse, different song. I don't know.
Yeah, you're the musician.
Like
you should know that. What's going on there? Teed you up nicely. At Mexico City, at DC are the next 2 games for the Vultures as they leave the friendly confines of Sports Gamers Online Stadium with a home record of 65-6. As mentioned, Alamo City will host Fort Worth and then also host Charleston. Those are their next couple of games before they go on the road to take on the DC Dragons. Alamo City will actually get the ball back. Baltimore taking knees too early, but it'll just be for stat padding purposes.
And we have the chat here correcting us, Cam. Second verse, same as the first.
There it is. I knew it was something like that. I get it wrong every time. So punt upcoming here for the Vultures. Alamo City going to fall to 0-1 in a very competitive South Division, but showed some good things. That D-line, if they can stop the jumping off sides, they had a pretty nice game tonight. Ace Fennick looks great. Brad Jones showed some burst. Really exciting looking team.
I know it's not the result they were wishing for coming in here tonight, but again, there's a lot of moral victories you can take from this game. Again, offense looked great. Defense was keeping them in it here. I know started off rough, but again, Alamo City held their own here in this week 1 matchup.
So 11 seconds left. Starters are all still in. See what happens. Starters initiated with a 16-point lead outside the 2-minute warning. 3 wide, Ace Fennick out of the gun. I mean, that's an accomplishment all in itself to play Baltimore and not see their backups.
Yeah.
Pass caught by Garrison
that might
Blue.
do it for us here,
Yep.
Cam.
I think so. That is a wrap. They cannot get another play off. And that ends our evening here in Baltimore. All right. With that being said, here are your final numbers. Pretty great game for opening night. It's a high register. It's a high register good game. 440 to 416 in yards, just 3 turnovers on the night. Alamo City puts up a good fight, and Baltimore cleans up the spread at home. Your final thoughts on that game, Paul?
What a great way to kick off the season. Again, it's been a little bit too long for us all. We've all been itching for some more SFL action, and I think both of these teams gave everyone what we were looking for, a great and interesting, exciting game to start this season 20 off for us all.
Tomorrow, SFL action kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern with Mexico City and Carolina, followed by Motor City in Denver at 8:15. Both those games are on SFL YouTube. All the games this season long on SFL YouTube. And then Saturday's slate starts at 1 p.m. Eastern with a battle of 2 playoff teams from last season, DC and Fort Worth. Tyler Falk, if you're around, you have some final thoughts on this ball game?
It had to be said that, of course, a lot of people are going to look at that blocked field goal, Cam, but if your defense of line cannot stay onside majority part of this football game, you have a lot more questions to ask than what the heck of a ruling was that field goal call.
I hear you. They also couldn't stop Mac Chima most of the night. That was a problem. Anytime you give up a couple of easy touchdowns, as they did, it's going to make things difficult for you. Warren Murray didn't do much tonight, but a nice move there to get his only touchdown of the evening. As the highlights continue to roll on, all 28 teams in action this weekend. It's a busy one here at SFL HQ. 5 straight days of football. What's not to love, Paul?
Gotta love everything about it.
Player of the game, it's Mac Chima.
Yeah.
I would have given
No
it to
doubt
Yates,
about
but
that.
that's not bad. Skippy with the $4.99 super. Welcome to season 20, everyone. Couldn't have said it better
We're
myself.
here.
We are here. 209 yards, 3 touchdowns. Thank you all for being here this evening. That was an awesome game. Your final score, Baltimore 38, Alamo City 23. We'll see you tomorrow for more SFL Season 20 action. Good night, everyone, from Maryland.